It's kind of like that thing, man. Like anybody who said like, you don't like America, well then leave. I did.
You did it.
You know, you want to hold people accountable? I did.
Yeah.
Like, well, why don't you do something about it? I did. And you know what it's gotten me? Like, closer to God.
Boom.
So if that's the win, then that's the win.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever. Welcome to the podcast.
That's a beautiful. You're a natural.
I know
This
you
is
just
the
on.
You Are Here podcast.
You should have a podcast, man.
Yeah.
So I should.
O'Hagan Career Coaching, guys. If you're getting out of college, if you're getting out of the workforce, if you lost your job, got laid off, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
You know? But
It's a cold
it's
world.
tough to get back in there, dude.
Yeah.
Especially right now. You got to be unique. You got to set yourself apart from the crowd. Everyone's trying to get a job. We have so many jobs that need to be filled, and somehow no one's getting a job. So I'm going to send you straight to Coach O, O'HaganCareerCoaching.com. He's going to teach you how to do. He's going to teach you the right answers for the questions you need to be answering, how to follow up on an interview, how to do all these things. Dave, what else is he doing?
Dude, he's got a networking package right now that I think is going, it's flying. So I would go look it up on O'HaganCareerCoaching.com. Tons of hits are happening right now. He's going to be the guy that coaches you for the job that you're trying to get. It's very hard out there. He keeps telling me the job market is not tight. So you need all the help you can get to get the job that you want. Go to O'HaganCareerCoaching.com. He'll help you out. He'll coach you for the big day.
And win. Anytown Actors Lab, guys.
What's there to say?
Truthfully, under imaginary circumstances, that's acting.
Come on.
If you're really going to hear it from a real one, hear it from Adam Louder in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area. If you're in person, you can get a class face-to-face like it's meant to be. But if not, and you want to, you're in Zimbabwe and you want to act and you have a passion, hey, go there, because he's already talking to so many people online. He's been growing a community, tight-knit. He's been learning for so long. He's a great teacher, a great friend, a great person.
Handsome.
And very handsome. Go to anytownactorslab.com. Shout out to the
Patrons.
That was really good.
Yeah, that was
Holy
nice. We
shit.
harmonized for a second.
You could be like a doo-wop group.
I know.
Patreon. Patreon. You go low, I go high.
Okay.
Patreon. All right, that's really bad. We messed
At the
it
end,
up.
I didn't do it right.
But go to Patreon, patreon.com/YouAreHerePodcast. You can get extra content. If you want to support us in any way, it goes right back into the business. Look how we've grown, baby.
Come on, man.
Ba-pow. This is how we've done it, man. And we appreciate you. Thank you guys so much.
Love you guys.
Who has already supported. And if you want to, go to patreon.com/YouAreHerePodcast.
Boom. You Are Here podcast episode
293.
293. Welcome back. Welcome home. We did the reads already, Mikey. We don't have to do them again.
We don't.
We got Adam G. Simon. 293.
You guys have done 293 podcasts.
Over 5 years.
One a week.
Over 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just sitting with your boys.
Same with your boys. Getting closer to this dude. Getting as close as you can get to another young
Probably.
man, dude. And that's not weird.
The closer
at
you
all.
could get is skin to skin.
I've tried.
Yeah.
Like when he's loose,
Yeah.
when he's
When he gets-
vulnerable.
Yeah.
I've tried. Welcome back to the pod, man. You're in the studio, bro.
What's up, man?
You made it,
going
I
dude.
know. I made it. This is so cool.
Does it feel good to be here?
It feels good. It feels really good. It feels good to be be with you guys and because it's all been like we were online dating or something.
Yeah.
You guys are
Yes.
like AI avatars. Or something.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
We
the
started
first
right out the
hug.
gate of like all this sexual tension between us
Yeah.
three right now.
Yeah.
This is a weird place.
Yeah,
to
man. That's why we can't drink together, right?
Be careful
we gotta
later
stay
during
sober
dinner, bro.
together,
Man,
man.
no, that's gonna be bad.
But for
Am
real,
I too far away from this thing?
You can pull it closer to you,
yeah,
man.
pull it a little closer. You're
Get
good.
comfy. Manhandle it,
All right.
dude.
Full disclosure to the audience, we are waiting because of my own stupidity. I took the keys to the rental and got a text from my fiance who's like, "Did you take the damn keys to the rental?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't take the keys to the rental." And then that proceeded with an argument. And they were in my pocket. So
As he
I would
pulls them
like
out.
to formally apologize to Larissa
Oh, this
Yeah.
is good. This is good.
and let her know something she already knows, which she is forever attached, because we have a child, to a moron. She is attached to a moron for the rest of her life, and there ain't shit she can do about it unless she gets me whacked.
They're always right though.
They're always right, but it is that thing of it's like there are days where she's like, I love this guy. But most of the days she's looking across at me going, I got to go to a high school graduation with this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like,
well, isn't that something that you ever look at her and you're like, why? How do you like this? Like this
all the time.
Yeah,
dude.
it's just like we're sloppy,
All the
like
time.
big guy. Like,
yeah.
I don't understand how this beautiful thing. She was laying on the couch last night, my wife. She got up from napping, and I was just like, I'm looking at her like,
yeah.
Are you out of a like? What is?
Yeah.
Why?
What?
You look like you're out of a magazine, dude.
I know, dude.
And I'm like, why did you allow me to like build a life with you? You know what I mean? Like,
insecurity and a really shitty childhood.
Man.
That's my guess.
She fucked up.
She fucked up, bro. Listen, they're not perfect. Women make mistakes.
We got her, man.
That's how it is with me. And she doesn't believe me, dude. Like I see her and I'm like, oh my God. Like,
yeah.
And she's like, well, you have to say that. I'm like, I don't have to say shit.
No.
Like you walk into a room and it's like, it's not just her. And this is good because, I've been screamed at for quite a long period of time. So this will be great. I'm going to send her this podcast and be like,
this is the damage control episode.
For you.
But we're waiting for the Uber driver to get back here with the keys.
He got paid double to do a U-turn.
The Uber driver the keys,
Yep.
and then she told me, well, I'm not waiting. I'm going to get something to eat. And I'm like, well, the keys are in with the Uber driver. And then we were trying to,
and he was no nonsense, that Uber driver.
Oh, this was a no-nonsense Uber driver.
Yeah.
I gotta be real though. That's a smart move. I would never think of that.
I wouldn't have either.
Give the
I'd have
keys.
been like, guys, we got to go pick up the keys that I just said.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
wouldn't be like,
we
no,
got
that's
to
genius.
I would think.
Yeah, it's like
That's like a different way of thinking. I think
it is.
It's elevated.
I don't think.
Yeah.
like
And that's
that.
why you are where you are, and we're here.
Yeah, this is the separation.
You're here. What you're where you are right now as far as view count is concerned because this guy doesn't believe in SEO.
Oh, okay, come on.
I want to hear this.
Well, this all goes back
What's
to
the hesitancy?
why do we hold ourselves back, gentlemen?
Why do we hold ourselves back? Mikey, I'll let you start.
Go ahead, Mikey.
SEO. What is SEO, dude? It's
What
a
is
term that some dude
Go ahead.
made up
Go
in
ahead.
the past year, and now it's basically the same thing as you upload something, people see it, and there's an algorithm. What was there before? Was there nothing? Was it just everyone would just like tell you like, oh, go watch the new YouTube cat video?
I see what you're saying.
It's like
what made something
what
viral?
changed?
Was
What
it just
changed?
meritocracy? Was it
Or
just
was there always an algorithm?
Probably,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, there was.
there always had to be
probably.
something
Yeah,
pushing?
yeah, of course.
But now it's like this magical.
Do you feel
like-
dirty when you hear that term?
You want to know why? Here's a great. You'll understand. You'll probably understand this too. On TikTok
Yeah.
or something, or anything, you see people that are like, do this to get your SEO up.
Oh yeah, dude. I
That
hate those
whole thing is a grift to make money.
Absolutely.
Everyone's searching. How do I get 1 million views? And they're literally making videos so that you click 1 million of them.
Yeah.
And they're not teaching you anything. They're not giving you
It's
anything.
like all those videos on Instagram
Yeah.
and TikTok.
they're making
where the
money
guys are like,
off you.
how would you like to make
Off the same thing.
$25,000 in passive income, which I did last
Yeah.
month?
Sign
This
up for
is
my
how you do it.
website.
Go to Amazon,
Yeah.
open a drop shipping business, look at t-shirts.
Yeah.
Now put slogans on those t-shirts and you're making $1 million.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck off.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
not how this works.
It's a grift.
It's a grift. And people selling their plan. Like there's actual programs that teach influencers, look, this is what you have to do. You get on, you come up with a plan, and then you try to sell people that plan. Like you're selling people financial advice. You're
Right.
selling people business advice. You're not a successful business person. You're not a successful, financial guru or whatever.
Right.
In fact, most of these individuals are failed, but they get like a big ass following for talking that no nonsense talk.
Yep.
No nonsense. You know what I tell my wife? This is how I teach my children. My wife and I, when we travel, we fly first class. Our children, our 8 children, economy. They're all the way in the back. And I make sure when I select those seats, they're all the way back by the restrooms. And that teaches them. I don't owe you shit. And then all the people online, wow, brilliant. Oh God, that's what
Discipline.
we need. Discipline. That's how we need to change our society. And it's like, no, that guy's a psychopath and a fucking asshole. And the kids are going, oh, I get it. So to be a good parent, I got to be a dick.
Yeah.
Like that's what that is. It doesn't mean your kids fly first class. I got a better lesson for you. Why don't you sit back in the economy? Like save your fucking money, you dill hole. It's an hour flight. I think at least the guy that I saw, he was flying from like, Vegas to St. George, Utah. What the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, what an asshole. Like, it's just like,
Do you think that dude really does that, or he's just saying that?
he's probably just saying it.
He's just
100%.
saying it. Because his wife would go nuts.
100%.
Yeah, I feel like. Right?
There's a dude I saw, I swear, dude, I gotta send this to you. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
It's the alpha. Everybody's an alpha now. I'm an alpha.
Yeah.
Like the Andrew Tate thing. And it's like, but Andrew Tate's running a grift.
Yeah.
Like he's running a grift.
100%.
Cam
100%.
website.
Yeah, cam website.
He literally says it.
Well, school.
He says I'm running cam websites for lonely loser men to
Yeah.
give me money.
Yeah, 100%. And they do.
and they do it.
And
And they do. And I'll teach you how to replicate that business and create a bunch of other douchebags that are talking about,
that was it.
I got a Bugatti. I want like
The
all
image.
this talk about his watch and like the money he has. Like that's your value as a human. But now he's like, I got to kind of like switch that. 'cause the tide is turning.
Yeah.
There's voices like Jordan Peterson and
Yep.
some of these other people
Yep.
that are talking about what it means to be a man, like on the inside
Mm.
and like the value that you have by what you contribute to the world. So then he's like, I got to pivot. I got to talk about like hardcore values. I got to try to be like Jocko Willink or like some of these other guys or, whatever. And knock some of these other people. But this motherfucker's sitting down with, Candace Owens and shit and some of these other people talking about virtues and values and how to be a man. Fuck off. Like literally, like fuck off. I'd fight Andrew Tate. Fucking let's put that out there. What up? But it's like, and I know his skill set. I know that dude's a boxer. I'm not talking about fighting for charity. Like I'm not going to Jake Paul this bitch.
Yeah.
You're
But
talking
it's
about
like,
the street.
Yeah, I just mean like, what do you stand for? Like, what do you really stand for?
This is a conversation I'd love to have. Like,
what do
if you
what do you
can
really
actually
stand
have the
for? I
conversation.
love the sound bites. I
Yeah.
love the clickbait.
Yeah, fun.
It's fun as shit.
Yeah.
I watch everything that comes through that Andrew Tate has to say because you have to.
Yeah.
Because everybody's listening to him. I went into, one of my relatives into his son's room. He's got all this Andrew Tate shit up on his walls, and I'm like, all right, let's talk about that. Maybe the first thing was The Matrix, coming down on Andrew Tate and framing him for a bunch of stuff in Romania. But that shit keeps rolling out. He just got rated again.
Yeah.
So what's that about?
That's some weird shit.
And then you got, this like abusive sexual behavior that's coming out that's being shown to like everybody in the world. What's that saying to your young, impressionable audience? Or is that part of being a man? You're just a walking Viagra commercial? Like, I'm getting sick of this narrative of like, being a man. It's the car you drive. It's the watch you wear. It's the women you fuck. And that's it. That's what's being a man is. How big of a hard on can you get? And it's like, yeah, fuck you. Like straight up, fuck you. That's not it.
Because
Because I got
being a
kids
man?
on the line. And by the way, Andrew's got kids on the line.
Yeah.
So what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like I'd love to sit that guy down and go, let's talk about fatherhood for a minute.
Well, that's what I
son.
want to talk about right now.
And not in sound bites. Like what do you, because this is a character.
Right.
Yeah.
You're playing a character. Right?
100%.
Right.
Like when you get alone with your daughter, when you get alone with your son,
Yeah.
are you still talking this way?
There's no way.
Shirt off, smoking a cigar,
There's no
talking about
way.
how badass you are, or you reading her bedtime stories. It's the thing Kendrick was saying to Drake, like, let me tell you,
Don't tell lies about me.
no, when he said, you know nothing about that.
Yeah.
Take it, watch it, spending time with your kids, you know nothing about that.
Yeah.
You know, and then when he goes further and he's talking to his children, he's like, I know you want your dad to watch Frozen with you, tell you what kind of a man you are, to his son, like having these conversations. Like that's why it resonated so hard with me, because I was like, that's the real deal. I came Fast and Furious.
Pause.
The Uber driver's here.
So I got the Uber.
Talking all that hard shit. We're back. I was just challenging Andrew Tate to a fight. That's what I was doing in the first 5 minutes of the pod.
You were going heavy.
No, but I was saying something to him down there. Like I get it. Like anybody looking at me can just go, "Who the fuck is this guy?" And I've read every. I was the idiot that when the Man Down trailer came out, I read every comment, responded to everybody.
Oh, wow.
Like went on Facebook. I listened to every. I was like, I'm gonna respond to everybody.
Oh, no.
What did that do to you?
It was horrible.
Oh,
It's terrible. Don't do that. But it taught me something. So I know anybody coming at me is gonna be like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, failed marriage, he's a bit, divorcee, he was homeless, this guy's a scumbag, his movies suck, critics hate his movies. Like, why is this guy still writing? He's irrelevant. Now he's on the podcast circuit. So I already know what you're going to say about me, but that's where it ends. There's not much else you could say. Like, I'm not pimping out women for profit and trying to, teach somebody. I could go down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
This is why Kendrick won the beef, is because Drake could go, well, I heard a rumor you hit your wife. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah.
Because she's here. If you want to talk to her, like, we're together. We've been through therapy, done ayahuasca, done the work.
he made a whole album about it.
Yeah.
About his problems.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Mr. Morale. Like,
Yeah.
he went through the whole thing. Did you listen to the album, Drake?
Right.
Because if you did, you would know I've worked on this shit. But I got a lot of shit that I need to say about you.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, yeah, I just don't understand this this kind of movement, this kind of vibe, like everything that we're seeing, just people selling something, everybody selling something and talks about brands. Like everything's got to be a brand.
Dude, I feel like nowadays it's like you're
And maybe
either
that's your hesitancy.
100%. I can explain it a little bit. I think right now, dude, it's what I gravitate towards most is like what you say is like the truth of things, right? Like someone that owns all this shit, the truth, that sells pretty good. You know what I mean? If it's like fully like you're saying all your faults and everything, you own it all, but you still show up and you don't give a fuck about your past. You say, I could change, dude. I could do whatever the fuck. Entertaining doing that.
Yeah.
Like he's not. A lot of people don't own up to anything. So it's like the other side of that. What is it? It's like I feel like it's like this entertainment, this character, like Hollywood.
WWE, man.
It's like that whole entertainment aspect of it instead of the truth being that, And I feel like we've had many conversations about like we could, if we really want, we could play to the algorithms, to the SEOs, to making the clips, the clickbait, the thing.
Right.
We did it like a couple times and like it always works.
Sure.
But it's like, I don't want to do that. I really don't. I don't know. To me, I don't feel. It doesn't feel good to me. With something like this, like where it's based off of like the relationship between me and my friend and like the people we bring in to talk.
Guys. That's why that's why.
But obviously, that's not going to sell.
It's not going to sell. Yeah.
But we're trying to figure out a way,
and that's the balance. The
commerce.
We want to figure out a way.
Yes, how do we bridge
commerce?
But that's why sometimes we need help in that scenario because we've spoken to people who are strictly commerce that we try to get to be more vulnerable and honest about their lives.
Sure.
And there is a middle ground.
There's people that do it. There's people that do it.
There's people that do it much better than when we even understand.
Yeah.
But then now we're good. Now we're gonna jump right into the fucking deep end.
Bro.
Here we go, dude.
Yeah.
That has become a commodity now. The appearance of truth.
Yeah.
The appearance of honesty.
Yes.
The as Mark Vicente talked about. I love Mark. Mark,
Shout
I'm
out.
so sorry. That guy's just got to be looking at me going like, what is wrong with this dude? Like I come into his life and I'm like hot and heavy and then I disappear. And I've just been I'm really bad at managing consistent communication with people.
I understand.
I'm bad at that.
Yeah.
And what you guys know.
Yeah.
Like you call me up and be like, hey man, it's been like 4 months. I haven't heard from you. It's starting to get worried.
Yeah.
What's going on? I'm like, oh, it's, it's all good. But I'm really bad at that. Really bad. I need to change that. I'm going to work on that.
Cool, man.
I love it.
All right.
Let's
Which
hold
means
you
I won't,
accountable.
But
I'll just bother you then.
yeah.
I'll just keep bothering.
Yeah, just keep bothering me with it. But I feel like those things, the appearance of family values, the appearance of blue collar working class, the appearance of truth, the appearance of masculinity, the appearance of Christianity has all become a commodity to sell.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and not,
What a shame.
yeah, but you see it. Like, what's the model, right? Like the business model, the successful business model, podcasters or whatever. Now, as a Christian, you are supposed to, well, I don't even know if you're supposed to, but it's kind of like the unwritten word a little bit, that when somebody comes to Christ, You are to accept them unconditionally. You are not to question. You just go, well, this man murdered 20 people, but he served his time and now he's out and he accepted Jesus, come live with me. And then the next night you're like, why are you doing this to me? And bleeding to death. So I don't necessarily subscribe to it, but that's the state of Christianity. Like, you accept these people and just go, come on in.
Yeah.
You got, Christ is in your life. I'll let you in. But that's a sellable, it's such a pattern now that it's like, oh, you got discovered, doing whatever it is, hosting donkey shows in your Beverly Hills mansion, for underage teens. Well, I know I've seen the error of my ways and now I've come unto Christ. Now I've accepted Jesus and now I'm doing a podcast talking about Jesus, and making a lot of fucking money. And that's been the thing. And it's a pattern. It's a pattern definitely with celebrities. It sees celebrities hitting rock bottom. But then the other side of me, the Pisces, the compassion goes, well, that's what happens in prison. Like, people hit rock bottom and where do they got to go? Everybody's a believer in a foxhole, kind of a thing. So who am I to judge, kind of a thing. But when these guys come out and there's the false prophet aspect of it, and they start selling and proselytizing to my kids and to, other people in the community who I care about, then I got to stand up and be the crazy guy in the wilderness going, fuck you. Oh, that's not very Christian-like, says the non-Christian, right? Yeah. Like, or says the person who feels like they have ownership on what that's supposed to look like. Like, let me tell you something. Like, most of the fables that people put out there about who Jesus was or wasn't is not based on any facts. It's and then they go, well, the whole story's made up, so what are you talking about, Adam? But it's like, if you just take for a second just the written word, the story, let's just call it a story. Let's just say it's not fact. It's just a story we're supposed to learn of. What's the story of this character Jesus? Love your enemies, bless them that curse you, pray for them who use you, who curse you and despitefully use you, right? And then, I say unto you the greatest commandment, love one another. By this shall all men know that ye are my disciples if ye have love one to another, right? That's right. So, didn't fucking know I knew that shit. Yeah, that's what being a Mormon missionary for 2 years and then going down the rabbit hole with rabbinical studies does for 3 years. You have all this stuff in your head. Doesn't mean I put it to good use. I fail at that. But they create this idea of who Jesus is. Let me tell you also Jesus was. He was radical, revolutionary. Like, this is somebody who, what's the symbol with this Messiah that you're looking for? Riding through the gate on a donkey, wearing these specific colors, having people, lay down palms. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Oh, that's not going to piss off everybody. Like the Roman authority,
come on, man.
The Sadducees, the Pharisees. It's not going to piss off anybody. No, that's going to piss everybody off. And you're saying, or when somebody says, so are you the Son of God? Thou sayest. You said it, not me, motherfucker. Like, that's some sassy shit. That's some sass. Jesus putting some sass on some shit. Thou sayest, what?
Yeah, man.
Or when he says, I say unto you, you are vipers, you're snakes. Or when he goes in front of the ruler, it wasn't Pilate, it was the guy above him, the guy above Pilate. Pilate's like, I'm going to send him to this dude. I'm dead, dude. I'm dead right now. I'm dead with who this guy is.
Dude, I need,
but he goes
magic
to see,
mind or something.
Yeah, he goes to see the guy above Pilate, and what does he do? He doesn't say a word. He's silent. He doesn't get a word. He gave words to, Judas. He gave words to people that knew were going to betray him. He gave words to soldiers. He gave words to murderers, or thieves, or the two thieves. Sorry. He had words for everybody, but for this dude, nothing. You get nothing. You don't get a word out of me. That's gay. That's so gnarly. Or what about the money changers? He walks into the temple and he's like,
flipping tables, dude.
This shit. Whipping. You guys, but the same principle we're talking about, you're selling Christianity. Like, you've brought commerce into what is supposed to be holy. All right, I'm going to spend the day. And the writings in the Apocrypha talk about him braiding the whip. That takes time. So he gets the reeds. He's putting in bits of rock and stone. Does that sound like turn the other cheek? And he goes in and starts flipping over tables like freaking Tony Montana, whipping the shit out of everybody. Just like you, like that video, that viral video, the slap, where that dude's just walking through and just smacking the shit out of everybody, even the kids. That's Jesus.
The slap.
You know, love your enemies. Love your enemies. Bless them that curse you. Hold on, I gotta regulate this shit right here. You know, and so it's like, but this idea, and I hate it when people come back with that. That doesn't sound very Christian of you. Shut your fucking mouth. You know, watch what you say, because it's fine for you guys to like trample on that which Christians think is holy. But don't get it twisted. Back in the day, there was a lot of motherfuckers walking around with red crosses, you know, on their clothing that would cut your head off for saying something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, that's my very violent way of saying we need to be more respectful of each other's beliefs.
100%.
And we need to be a little bit kinder and not build up these false narratives about what things are. Just take people at their word, because I've seen every single one of these guys go through a transformation. And then I walk into a meeting with them, this person who found Jesus, this person who found Christ, or this person who found Islam, or this person, you know, and really taking that line of like, Islam is a religion of peace, or who we were talking about earlier, this guy who's a well-known diehard Buddhist and an absolute consummate fucking narcissist, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, it really goes back to that scripture, by their fruits ye shall know them. Like, enough with this lip service. We got Instagram and TikTok for days of motherfuckers talking. I want to see what you do.
That's right.
What are you doing?
That's right.
That rant was sponsored by Diet Coke.
There you
Diet
go.
Coke, the caffeine you need when you want to talk shit about everybody.
What do you know for certain? Like, what's something you just know? Something like, I know this.
Something I know for certain?
Yeah, it's a tough question, but take a second.
I don't know, man, because everything, you know, there's that kind of hard line of like, we're all just made up of synapses and chemical responses, right? So even if I say, you know I love my son, my sons, plural, you know, both of them, my daughter, you know, I know I love my partner. It's like, is that it? Or is that culmination of your upbringing and things you've been exposed to, and, you know, what hits you? But then, no, it can't be that, because I share that with you, and there's some things that are universal. But yeah, I think about knowing something that I know. I don't think there's anything that I could say that I know, but there's some things that feel like truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like truth.
Yeah.
Like those Olay moments. You know where that comes from?
No.
Olay. In the bullfighters in the ring, it comes from Allah. So when the Moors conquered Spain, so it's actually Olay means God is with us.
Wow.
So when the bullfighter would, you know, literally cheat death by inches,
God is with
the
us.
audience would go like, God is with us.
Wow.
Yeah, that's where it comes from. Isn't that awesome?
It's beautiful.
That's pretty fucking cool. I'm not down with bullfighting, you know, ethical treatment.
Sounded like Hemingway, the way you just kind of brought that to us.
That's cool, right?
Because he was into the bullfighting stuff.
Yeah, it's
And
like,
the writer's
dude, I love that
connection to it.
There's a lot of stuff like that, though.
That's beautiful.
Symbolism.
Yeah. Like in Spanish. Do you speak Spanish? You speak Spanish?
No, little.
Don't you, Mikey?
No.
Poquito.
Why Polish.
Yeah.
That's rocking.
You couldn't
Give me
get
some. Spit some Polish game.
It's really bad, but
No, you can rock it.
Give me some.
what do you want me to say?
Say like realest podcast in the game.
Here, I'm here. I'm like, I only speak Polish. You got to interview me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Go for it. Hit me with something.
Adam, jak się czujesz dzisiaj?
That sounds Elvish and incredibly sexy.
No.
It is sexy, right?
Like,
He's
that's
sexier.
a sexy
The more
language.
you're around him, the sexier he gets, dude. And you'll see. You'll
Sounds
understand.
like Polish jokes and shit. Fuck those guys. That language is sexy.
Isn't
as
that
hell.
sexy?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And it's
I never
masculine.
understood Polish jokes. It never made sense to me.
I don't get it.
It's like,
either.
what have
I gotta
Polish
look
people
that
done
up.
to people?
Incredibly
I gotta
hard
look
work.
that
Yeah.
up.
I feel like
I
Polish
don't
people
know.
get the worst end of the stick
100%.
in every single situation.
Yeah, man.
I came from something. Somebody told
That's
a joke, and then people were like, that's was fucking funny. And just took off.
Yeah.
No basis and reason.
Nothing.
Like the Richard Gere story of the gerbil.
Mm.
What is that?
Yeah, I don't
You
know
don't
that.
know this?
No.
No.
This is mad history. So there was a story that Richard Gere, and it was all over the place when I was a kid. Like growing up with the Inquirer, we didn't have the internet. But it was like Richard Gere and Richard Gere. If this ever gets to you, Richard, my apologies, because he's like, I've been waiting for that story to die down. And this son of a bitch brings it right back up. But there's people that I talk to that are friends of mine who have experienced cancel culture, like that have been very like they're innocent. They haven't done anything wrong. I've met monsters and these guys are, I'm like, you ever want me to say something, like speak on this shit? And they're like, no, I'm just waiting for this to like die.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
Because the more I talk about it, it comes back up. But Richard Gere, there was a story about him being, participating in all this kind of deviant, debaucherous sexual behavior. And there was a story about him having to go to the hospital to get a gerbil removed from his lower intestine.
Wow.
Because he was into that. It was a completely fabricated
Insane,
story.
right? Yeah, Inquirer.
Completely fabricated story. You know who started that story?
Who?
Sylvester Stallone.
No way.
Yeah, Sylvester Stallone started
Sly?
that. Sly started that shit. Like
What?
fucking ruined Richard Gere.
As a joke?
Yeah, as a joke. But like did it to like fuck with him because there was like some
Little
shit
animosity
going on.
going on?
But that was the world. It was like, you watch the documentary about Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Savage. Like this dude.
Oh, totally.
And he's like,
Shitty teammate.
nobody will beat me.
No.
And doing the most insane psychopathic
Yeah, man.
like things. Well, that's how it was with the actors.
Got
like
it.
that crew, Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Van Damme?
Richard Gere, Mel Gibson, Bruce Willis, these guys that were kind of coming up together.
Yeah.
Oh, it was war, dude. It was on.
Yeah.
Especially between Sly and Schwarzenegger.
I didn't
But
know.
Sly had some,
They definitely had it.
yeah.
They definitely
they
had
had some beefs.
But
that
I didn't know
started this
Gere. I wouldn't know Richard Gere was
Yeah,
like
yeah,
involved.
Yeah.
Well, Richard Gere was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's strange.
Why is this
That
happening?
must suck,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, and then
That
couldn't
must
get a
suck so
gig, and people are looking at him. He's like, "This is bullshit."
The hamster guy. Now you're the hamster. Yeah, we don't believe it, Richard.
Yeah,
We don't believe it, dude.
Richard's a hell of an actor too.
Man.
Yo, Adam, speaking of stories, I heard you had some acting school story, something.
Oh, we got acting school stories for days.
What was that?
Me and this guy. You did it too. What was that like in school for you? So film school, right? So you're going through film school.
Yeah.
See how he flipped it on you?
Flip that
Yeah.
shit on
You
you?
see how
Bro,
he
you're not
flipped
gonna
the
box
shit
me
on you?
in,
Yeah,
son.
no.
All right,
You're not gonna
fine.
box me in.
You're not
I'm gonna
controlling this shit. We're on a
It's called
roller
a bait
coaster.
and switch. What?
That's a counter.
Because I think a lot of people, yeah, at least the people that come to LA, I know the people that come to New York pursuing that dream, some about film and television, they always say, get into school.
Yeah.
And then you see these guys like Michael Shannon and some of these guys doing that DP30, whatever, the interview in black and white. He's like, I always go to acting school and it's a way to keep the muscles, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, whatever. But it's pretend. Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry. Such a.
I mean, look, I'll
But did
be
they run
straight
you
up.
through it? Did they run you? So they have like filmmaking 101, history of film.
Yeah.
They're running you through that.
100%. Yeah. There's like there's just like techniques. The major is digital filmmaking. What does that mean? Like.
Well, digital cinema. So I would imagine like they threw you in with like the red camera, Arri Alexa, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is that Okay.
Yeah. But like, I gotta be honest, it was probably a waste of time because Rama post school, middle of nowhere. I honestly wish I kind of just didn't go through it because a lot of the stuff I learned already, especially like technicality stuff and things like that. Yeah, like using cameras, like all these things. Like I've already done this. Like I had a love for it through like YouTube and like actual digital stuff.
When was this? What years was this?
For the college?
Yeah.
2014 to 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
lot was changing.
yeah, it was
Social media, YouTube.
Yeah. YouTube was like already big and like and that's why I loved like making videos, music videos, stuff like that. That was my
He
main.
was making all
my main
kinds
love.
of crazy shit.
Yeah, I was doing a bunch.
He
of shit.
didn't say that. He skipped over it. But before school,
Yeah, me and my brother, like growing up, we'd always just
Making
like
music videos and
every
stuff?
Christmas we'd always like do a little video or something. We did like a do host, like Rammstein like cover like music
Amazing.
video thing, you know, like we just try to be.
My younger brother and I used to do that.
Yeah.
And it kind of sucks because he was really good at it, man.
Yeah.
Like my younger brother is funny.
That's
as
how my
hell.
brother too, man.
And he's
My
such
brother
like a
too.
musical genius. Like musically, he could play the piano. He plays
My
the
sister.
trombone too, which is a really stupid instrument, and so I'm gonna disrespect him. But no, but he's a super lawyer. Like you
Yeah.
look him up online, it's like this dude's like one of California's like top lawyers.
Wow.
Like went to Harvard, this dude, and he's like, I just want to make this musical about how your movie sucks, and I love watching you die, in the elevator in Point Blank. Did you see that?
Yeah, dude.
But it's good. You listen, you're like, this fucker can sing, like if Lonely Island hadn't come out, like you might have had a career in this thing.
Wow.
But my brother, I think my brother did those, quite honestly, to be like, I see what you're doing. I could do that.
Oh, wow.
And then came in and did it and got like hundreds of thousands of views. Like his videos got,
Wow.
like they were viral. He took them all down. But like there was a point where he had like hundreds of thousands of views on his videos. And I'm on there going like, the government's lying to you. Jonathan Pollard leaked these secrets and they're all fucking lying and we're all going to die. And people are like, one line. Don't give a shit. Don't give a shit. I was at a Comic-Con. This is where I had the epiphany. What did you say? 2014 to
18. Yeah.
18. This was 2015. This is 2015. I was at a Comic-Con. Shout out to Blizzard, or not Blizzard, Wizard World. It was run by a guy named John Macaluso, who was married to Jordan Belfort's ex-wife.
Got it.
Played by
Margot Robbie.
Yeah. So I got to meet the real life lady.
Wow.
Also spent a lot of time in green rooms. So, and again, I've said this on your podcast, but like these dudes that are out there like promoting a certain narrative about who they are, I know you guys too well. I still have cell phone, video, these dudes running off with escorts and doing all this shit after they talk about how much they love their families. So, keep my name out of your mouth. Or I'm gonna put that on YouTube somewhere. Yeah, that's dark. Anyway, so let's bring it back. I was at this Comic-Con and I was sitting at the table with Magneto and Captain Picard.
Whoa.
Which was like literally Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart.
Dang.
And they got a line, they got people getting ready to come up and sign autographs. Actually, it must have been before that. It must have been 2012, 2013.
So you're working security detail here.
No, I was helping an artist that was on the Comic-Con circuit who I got introduced to, and I was selling his paintings. I was hawking his paintings.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was out there, and then I would challenge other artists to a speed paint off with him. So we were kind of like that was kind of like the brand.
Yeah.
It's like we were going to talk shit about everybody else and then see, who was the better
Some
artist.
gangster way.
And there was the guy who created, I forget his name. He created Iron Man
Oh, geez.
in the comics.
Holy shit.
And he was an incredible artist. But I called his ass out.
That's not Stan Lee, right?
No, not Stan Lee. It was this other artist. But I called him out.
You called him out. You
Oh,
called
yeah.
his bluff.
Yeah. Oh, and because I went on stage to introduce
The artist.
the artist who's going to come out, and he was going to do a speed painting while this actor was on stage talking. So I introduced him. I did it like like Bruce Buffer or something. I like walked out and I was like, the greatest artist in the world. This is the man, the myth, the blah, 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 blah. And then I introduced him. He comes out. And I walk off stage, and then this dude walks up to me because I introduced him as the greatest artist in the world, the greatest artist at this con, the greatest artist you will ever see, whatever. And I did this thing. And I go walking off stage, and this dude, I will find his name. I swear, I cannot remember this dude's name. But he walked right up to me, this like potato ball of a human man. Like he literally was he was a donut hole.
Don't do this.
personified.
Don't do this.
I
Don't
swear to God,
this.
a donut hole with a toupee.
Don't say that.
A donut hole with a toupee, bro. He looked like Deadpool.
Don't call
in the
him a
trailer
donut hole,
where he's got the
dude.
toupee.
The toupee.
He looked like that.
With the
Yeah, with stapled onto his head.
Oh,
He looked like that. He comes walking up to me and he goes, and his lips like like doing that.
Oh.
And he goes, the greatest artist in the world? The greatest artist at this con? Really? And I go, yeah. I go, what are you going to do about it?
Come on.
And he goes, well, I'm going up next. And I said, good luck.
Oh,
Damn.
man.
Good luck. That
Hell
was
yeah.
it.
You challenged the man.
Yeah, it was like that kind of shit.
Yeah,
but
man,
then,
talking
but then
shit.
sales, because then he talked about it. I don't know who
Yeah.
he thinks put it his way. It was like, you know, like an 18th century poet trying to beef with a
man.
battle rapper.
Yes,
it's like,
dude.
you're gonna lose this. Anyway, this is my way to say. What the fuck was I saying? I don't even know. I don't even know what I was saying.
Dude.
Where were we?
We were talking about green rooms. We were talking about
green rooms.
Comic-Con.
Patrick Stewart.
That's it.
So anyway,
Patty
brother.
Stew.
And then I'm gonna stop. And then we're gonna slow it down. We're gonna slow it down because I am off my meds. So I'm sitting with these guys and just like in awe. I haven't said anything to them.
Yeah.
I'm just like managing with this gal. Shout out to Courtney McVicker.
Shout out.
Amazing lady. Like, dude, this girl handled all these people's personalities and
That's a job.
oh man, like crazy. And I always check in with Court because she's such a great human being and got to see like people at their worst and was still like a great person. Anyway, sorry for these off-roads. So I'm sitting with these guys and all of a sudden people are screaming like, wow, like fucking like Backstreet Boys in sync is in the building. I'm like, who's this? Like, I got to see who the fuck this is. And these guys, these like kids, like, you know, their hair's like this, you know, and they're dressed like they're at Woodstock, you know,
Yeah.
and they gotta be like $1.05 soaking wet
Dang.
and just like, you know, real thin and like, they're
Heroin
just like
chic.
doing this saunter
Yeah.
and just a freaking, I don't know if it's called a gaggle.
Gaggle. Yeah.
Gaggle.
Yeah, that's it.
Like a herd.
Yeah.
I don't want to equate them to cows, but just like all these like teenage girls
Is this a donut hole
and their
reference
moms
again?
are chasing after these guys. And I'm like, what the fuck is
moms.
that? And they're like, oh, they're Vine stars.
Wow.
Like
that
the
was
Vine
huge.
Yeah.
That
remember
was
that.
huge, dude.
They were Vine stars.
Yeah.
And we're talking like everybody in the con
Oh, yeah.
wanted a piece of these guys.
Yep.
And I'm like, these guys are legends.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like Shakespearean actors played. This is Gandalf.
And they're walking right
and
past them.
Magneto
Yeah.
and fucking Star Trek.
Isn't that
and they're just like, yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, man.
They do that, you know, whatever the fuck they do. And they're famous for that shit.
Yeah, bro.
And then people wanted to, you know, and then the other side of like this podcast was just like boys talking.
Yeah.
You know, I'm on Callan talking about like some real shit,
Shout out.
like real
Yeah, man.
gnarly shit.
Dropping some knowledge.
what we've been through, you know, over the past 2 years, and nobody gives a fuck. You know
Well,
what I
people
mean?
do. It's just not the. I don't know. It's not the what's hot. You know, and that's kind of what we're circling around. Is like,
That-
why is it?
That Vine thing was the start of that. Like now,
It really
now the
was.
chance to
Sure,
get
the
out,
SEO.
the chance to get out like that message now is like, oh, how are you going to do that in 5 seconds?
Right.
You can't. There's no way you can.
And podcasts are like, not
Yeah.
to shit on what you guys, but like, let me tell you why
Shit
your
on it,
future's
dude.
This
fucked.
is our last episode.
No, but-
This is why we're doing other business things now.
this is why
But I
we-
mean, dude, it's
Start
like,
businesses.
who's got the time? Like, I don't got the time, and I love Rogan. I love all the guests that I'm seeing, you know. But to sit down for 2 hours every single day,
Yeah, man.
when you're competing with Instagram, TikTok,
Yeah.
movies, your life, your family,
Yep.
TV, your video games,
Yep.
like all this shit is like pulling for your attention. And a weird things happened in that kind of environment, and no disrespect at all, because who the fuck am I, right? But it's like, but I do notice patterns, right? And we've talked a lot about that. But like this pattern of like Rogan goes on and he's new and he's fresh and he's just talking to people and he's so good at it and he's so good at interviewing people. But it's kind of thing that he's always saying is like, fuck Hollywood, pretty much. And then, fuck late night talk show hosts.
Yeah.
Just this rehearsed garbage, you know, that they're doing and having the same guest answering the same
Here's
questions.
this segment.
Well,
here's
guess
this
what, motherfucker? That's your world now.
segment.
It's transferred right over into podcasting.
Yeah.
Because if you look at Rogan, he's the center of the universe,
Yeah.
of that universe. And then you got Theo Vaughn, Andrew Schultz, Bill Burr, but not really, but to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
I'd
got
probably take him out, but like Lex Friedman,
Yeah.
and the same guests,
Mhm.
same guests are
Yeah.
making the rotations, and they're telling the same stories, and they're talking about the same shit.
Mhm.
And this guy is talking about the young and dryas impact, and comets came down and ruined everything. And it's great. I love that fucking guy. I watch him forever. But he's telling the same stories and the same shit on all the other podcasts because these guys are all just drafting off of whatever Rogan's doing.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, wait a minute. What made you really great in the beginning, Andrew Schultz? Hey, I got some shit to tell you. Turn your phone sideways. Like, that was revolutionary.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
But now you guys just have the same guests. It's like, whoever's on Rogan, get them.
Yep.
Because then we can get those clicks. We can get those views. And Jordan Peterson makes the rounds. Says the same shit. Donald Trump, Donald Trump isn't on Rogan. But I'm just saying, like, these same characters are going around telling the same stories. And it's like, well, now you're that. So how are you going to deal with that? Because now you're everything that you're talking shit about, now it's crept into your world.
Yeah.
And isn't that how it works? Like, it's always how it works.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. in a
So
sense.
shout out to you guys for holding down what you do, how you do it.
Yeah.
And like,
Appreciate it,
evolving.
man.
Yeah. I mean, it's active
Isn't that wild,
conversation,
though?
dude. Yeah, absolutely.
It's wild.
Yeah.
I remember I was listening to Theo and I'm like, I heard Jordan telling the same story on
It
Rogan.
happens. It
Why am I
happens.
doing this? Why am I listening to this
I've heard
again?
people who save stories for that moment. For
Yeah.
like, I'm not going to bring this up on your podcast. I'm going to do it when I'm at my biggest platform, which
Right.
is like,
Which is different.
well, it also is like this isn't a genuine conversation. Then this is a billboard.
It's propaganda. It's a billboard.
It's propaganda.
It's what late night shows are.
Boom. So then we're getting away from the purpose of a podcast.
That's exactly right. Which is just to talk to people.
That's
See
right.
What's up?
That's right. To meet you where you are
Yeah, yeah.
and to allow it to.
And you are here.
That's right. Adam G. Simon. How do we feel about like what is like the best quality you've seen in another human being? Let's say one of, give you some space.
Best quality I've seen in a human
Just
being.
in humanity.
A couple of these people that have sat down with, like rocked me hard. I was like, oof. Just kind of put me back on, which is why I like doing this. You've done that, not on here, but like in our phone calls and private conversations where, been talking to you and I'm just like, armor up, when you don't, there's no reason for you to like hit me up and go, make sure you're eating your Wheaties,
Yeah.
but like you do. And it's come at these times where I've really needed it. And that kind of altruism, I guess, that kind of like compassion, unconditional like love. That's what I'm getting at. I think is so admirable. And I see it in certain individuals. There's another guy who I talked to, Vincent Vargas, and he said
he's
something.
such a G, dude.
Oh, dude, it fucked me up for days when I just said, and I was expecting a funny banter.
Yeah.
So it always comes when you don't expect it. And I'm just like, what is that? Why are you optimistic? The whole world's on fire. Like what? And plus you've seen death. Like you've looked at death and killed and like done these things. And you're down on the border and you're seeing like the worst of the worst and just horrific stories. What is this smile? Like, what is this optimism? Like, why aren't you miserable like me? Kind of a thing. And he's just like, because I want my kids to have hope. I want them to, and I'm like, God, and I lost it. I'm just like, I got to pull this shit together, cut this out of the episode, in which he didn't, like a bastard.
I'm glad he didn't.
But that's an admirable thing. That's something that I'm just looking to make sure
You're good.
keys, and I don't have the missus going, hey, you dummy. Thank God she hasn't done it yet.
Good.
And she has every reason to. But I find that Callan said something that put me back on my heels too.
Yeah.
You have to worship. He goes, you're forgiven. This is the first thing.
It's at me.
Because I'm like, no, I'm not. You know?
Could we lean in?
Yeah, let's lean in on that. We can
Are you
lean in
cool
on
with that?
I'm cool with that. Let's lean in on it.
Because I don't want to get emotional, but
Now I get it. You're going to fuck me up now.
no.
This bastard.
What I know about you and your story, what you've been vulnerable about, it's awesome that you're so strong. You walk through what you walk through with your career now, and you've married you call it your Pisces, your artist with your business, right?
Yeah.
And raising your family. And the things you've gone through in your past, not a lot of people get to a point where they become, I guess it's one way or the other. You become very strong and you armor up in a way that's impossible to penetrate.
Right.
Or you kind of fold under that kind of treatment when you're vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I think what you spoke about in the podcast and what hit me so hard was watching you react to the truth of what Callan was saying, that we know in our heart, but our mind won't allow us to accept that you're forgiven, that the things of your past, the transgressions, the things that you've done that maybe you're not proudest of, like you're forgiven of those things because that's not you anymore.
Right.
And you carry them still like weights on your shoes, right? On your boots.
Yeah.
But you can take those weights off now. Like you can choose to do that.
Yeah.
But you have to do that.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing to manage, man. And it's hard for us to, it's easy for you to look at me, I know, and say like, Dave, you're so good, man.
Yeah.
And it's so stupid when I say, even hearing myself now, I'm like, what a dumb thing to say. But
It's true.
for you to say that to yourself and say like, Adam, you're good, dude. You're forgiven, man.
And you saying that, like it's still a thing.
I know.
Like I
can
hear
see
it. I
it.
go, right.
Yeah, I could see it. Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. I think it's like it's definitely a new thing. I got to figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't know how to figure it out, but I got to figure it out. Like that's the next step.
Yeah.
I got to figure out exactly how to do that. Cause I'm not sure. It was like, you know, I had a system before where I would sit down. If I was going to polish the script, I would sit down, I would line up like, you know, tons of coffee, get a bunch of Adderall, you know, do that, mix it with alcohol, you know, do whatever I was going to do. Then that switched to like psychedelics. And I had to go through this kind of crazy, torturous process, not sleep for days, push myself back up against the wall, against the deadline, you know, like I had to find a gun to put to my head so that I had to suffer in order to make something. And then the first time that I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do that. And I had to learn how to do that, not just sober, but like learn how to do that without the chip on my shoulder. Was difficult. But then you get into a new way and you're open to new things.
Yeah.
And so maybe I'm giving advice to future self now. Like maybe the way for that is to know that there's light at the end of the tunnel because you can't see it. You always want it to go. It's like being with a bad tattoo artist, which I've done. I don't know if you guys have done that. But it's like being with a bad tattoo artist and you sit there and you go, oh, fuck, what are you doing? And then, you know, and then you go, okay, but it's going to end. It's going to end sometime. It's going to end. I know it's going to end. But even though you know it's going to end, halfway through that bitch, you're going like, this is never going to end. Yeah. It's never, I'm going to be stuck here forever.
I'm going to die here.
Yeah, I'm going to die here. I'm going to die right here. And you're like, no, idiot. Like, this is going to end. Like, not when you want it to, whenever he wants to.
Yeah.
But it's like that thing. Yeah, that's admirable qualities, unconditional love.
Yeah.
Always hits me. And when somebody has optimism, optimism is a real bitch because there's and I've seen it, the ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
Like somebody just going, oh, golly, I don't think somebody's going to do that, you know? And it's like, oh, my arm, he cut my arm off. Why would he do that? Now I only have one arm to hug you with. You know, it's like that Flanders kind of mentality.
Yeah.
That ain't the way.
Yeah.
But to have somebody go, no, I know very well. Like my hands have been covered in blood. I know exactly how dirty this thing is, but I choose light. Like I choose optimism. I choose hope. That's crazy to me, and so admirable, and something that I want to surround myself with people like that.
Yeah, same.
Because it's something I struggle with.
Same.
I struggle with. Like the depression, suicidal thoughts. Like you were asking me about a turning point or like something previously. This is a story I never shared. I was in Brooklyn, which is interesting because it's kind of where we are. But it was years ago. This is 2000. It was right when the bottom was falling out. So it must have been 2010. I'll have to look and see when that was because that would be interesting. Be interesting to go to the spot. But I was in Brooklyn and I stepped out onto a platform, and I was waiting for, or just before a platform, I was waiting for the train to come.
Wow.
And that was it. And like I made the choice. It was done. It was done. Like it was happening. And I told this story to Joe Carnahan, and he laughed his ass off. He goes, "You did that, man?" He goes, "So you were waiting for the train but didn't have a ticket." He's a crazy guy. But it was sad. I was waiting. I'd spoken to my kids, had a really great conversation with them. And it was done. And my phone rang. And as I'm waiting, and I look down, it's somebody I hadn't spoken to in like 6 years. And I was like, that's weird. And I was like, whatever. And I'm still standing there, and he calls again. I'm like, all right, let me get this. So I pick it up. And I'm like, hey, how's it going? He's like, Adam? I'm like, yeah. He goes, all right. And it's funny because he's, I don't want to take away from this because it's heavy, but it's also very funny. He's very kind of, he's gay, but he's got this like, who's that guy on the fashion show? He's got like that kind of a vibe about him. The guy who's always like, that's
Tim
a terrible
Gunn. Tim Gunn.
He's got a Tim Gunn.
Love Tim
vibe.
Gunn,
yeah.
dude.
So he's like, Adam, I don't know what's going on in your life, but I was sitting here, I'm backing up my car out of my driveway, and something told me to stop.
Wow.
So I just stopped, and I picked up my phone, and now I'm calling you. And you can hate me, and I can hate you, and I really don't give a fuck. But I'm calling you just to say, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I hope you're well. Wow. Yeah. And I go, you're not going to fucking believe where I am. And he goes, where are you? I said, I'm not going to let this, because I do this, and I'm not going to let this run me over. I just said, I'm waiting to die. And he goes, what? And then I got off, and then we talked. Wow. And we reconciled. And he's since gone his way, and I've gone mine. Our personalities are very different. Yeah. But I'll never forget that. Like, somebody who, if he called, I go, I'm not picking that up. Yeah. That's who called. That's who was sent. That's who was sent to save me.
Doesn't that say something to you, brother?
Yeah, absolutely. Don't hold grudges. Because life is short. Life is gone. And I struggle with that. I still struggle with that. Like it's, I heard this thing with Chester Beddington where he gave an interview, and he goes, the most dangerous place is inside my own head. Definitely. When I'm alone. Yeah. Because it's always on the table. I think that's something, and you guys, I don't like to put that on anybody, but that's the problem. The problem with having made that choice in your body, like going, this is it. And you just pick it up like, I'm going to talk to him because that's not here yet. And if it comes while I'm on the phone with him, I'm still here. Like I'm resigned to this fate. And then something peeks through and makes you feel something. And then that little warmth of, ooh, this is weird. All right, let me move over and just have this conversation, let this moment pass. But it's always on the table. For the rest of your life, it's always on the table. Yeah. At least for me. Yeah. been in therapy, done, MDR therapy and ayahuasca. I've done DMT, I've done like all the psychedelics and everything. And whenever I go, I'm good, but if shit gets real, there's always that thing that just goes, yeah, well, you could just end it. You could just end it and it could just be over. And it's always there. It's always there. So just like, I look at it like an alcoholic, like somebody who struggles with addiction, that you just go, okay, it's there and it's going to come. Like the ideal come, you just go, no, get the fuck out of here.
24 hours. What do I do with the 24 hours?
What do I do with 20? Yeah, that's right.
One day at a time.
That's it. One foot in front of the other. But it's always there. Yeah. It's always there. And, you have 18 years of a certain programming, that didn't come from, my immediate family. They're all, it just came from the world that I was in, the abuse, that kind of stuff. And then quite honestly, years of bodyguard work where you just go, my life is expendable, yours is not. So I have to put myself in front of a bullet or crazy person or whatever that is. And doing even security at events. It's like, well, if something pops off, I got to get the principal out of here. You look at yourself as expendable. And so that just reinforces that. Right. And then you go, well, I found a job that will pay me that proves I'm a piece of shit that's expendable. What? Yeah. This is like the movie's Expendables. Right. Like you look at yourself as expendable. And so having decades and decades of that, I know I'm never going to be free of it, but instead of it being like this, it's like this. Right. So it's a suggestion, but it's always there. Yeah. Like it never goes away.
That's fair, man. I'm not going to say some cheesy shit, but I'll say, can I challenge you?
Yeah.
Because if I say something about you, I could wax poetic about what I love about you. It's going to hit, and you'll receive some of it, I'm sure, but you won't receive how I feel. Like, I'm being honest with you.
It's true.
Yeah. Because of what you spoke about, everything you've ever been through in the programming and all that. And I do pray that one day that God helps to heal all of that shit, dude. And but to challenge you now and where we are today in this moment, to tell me and Mikey, what is something you truly love about yourself? Like if you were to look at yourself and say like, Adam, man, I love myself for this quality or this thing about me, man. I don't know what it is. I just love this about myself.
Man, what the fuck?
It's a tough one. It's a real one. It's hard. I can't do it. I struggle with this too.
So when you said that, my brain instantly went, nothing. But you could talk about your strengths, maybe something you're good at.
Okay.
So I'm just being fully like,
please,
honest.
Man. Yeah.
So I think,
let's follow that thread.
Yeah, I think it's persistence. I'll keep going. Yeah. I'll keep going, like no matter what.
Yeah.
This is coming from a guy who just said, "It's always on the table that I can off myself." But it is. I'll keep moving because even the pain of moving is better. Like even the pain of moving is better because at least I'm feeling something. I'm still going.
It's still alive.
Yeah. I talked to this gal who's a cutter one time, and she said, well, when I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, is it? And she goes, well, it's a release. Like when I cut myself, I feel something, and otherwise, it's like I'm numb.
That's right. That's right.
And I was like, oh, that's kind of crazy because there is that thing of like, you move, it's painful to move.
Yeah.
Because the worst thing that I can do is isolate and go, well, I'm not moving. I'm not doing shit. And I'm not talking to anybody. I'm not doing anything. That's bad.
Yeah.
And it hurts. Like there's an actual pain of like going, when that shit hits you hard and you're thinking, it's dark, then you go, okay, take a step, like start to breathe, start to move. And it's painful. It hurts. Like physically hurts. Yeah. It's weird. It's a mind fuck. But then you go, okay, I gotta get through this. Gotta go, exercise. That's why exercise is so important, which I haven't been doing lately, but like, those things are like very important because you can work and move through that. But I would think that, and also my dedication to, the muse. Like I have such a foo-foo, woo-woo, Pisces fucking dumb thing. But I do have a loyalty to where and I think it's divine, where I think stories come from.
Amen.
And when it hits, I serve that thing and nothing else. So it's like, on the October 7th thing, which I told you I got hit up by a lot of people. They're like, oh, you took the propaganda gig. Like, oh, how does Benjamin Netanyahu's dick taste? Like shit like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, you've known me for 10 years. Like, where the fuck do you get off talking to me like that?
Yeah, yeah.
And then they start to tell me, oh, I've read the words of, I've read the writings of Malcolm X, and I've done this and done that. And, I had a girlfriend who was Palestinian. It's like, motherfucker, you ever been there?
Yeah.
Because I was. You ever been to Gaza? Because I did.
Right.
You ever sit with Bedouins? You ever go into a mosque? You ever been in a mosque?
Yeah.
Ever?
Yeah.
Because I have.
Me too.
Yeah, I know you have. You're crazy. This fucking guy talking about
Keep it real. Keep it a buck, dude.
This guy's, man,
Keep it a
dinner's
buck.
gonna be fun.
Yeah, well.
But it's like, it's so there's that. But then I'm like, that's ego. That's an ego conversation of going like, yeah, it's a dick measuring contest.
Right.
Like who knows more? And it's like, I don't need that.
Yeah.
Let me back that up and just go, I get why you're saying that, but why are you saying that to me? Like, me. Like, why would you go right to that?
Yeah.
I took a propaganda gig. And full disclosure, like, yes, I had to fight that fight, particularly in telling, these two girls' story, these two women who hid in a portable toilet as their friends were all massacred during the Nova festival, and
one being Muslim and one being Jewish. No?
Yeah. And having these like conversations with people that are looking me in the eye and they're going, that never happened. Fake news.
Fake news.
What the fuck are you talking about?
While you had boots on the ground.
Yeah, while
stories.
there.
Yeah.
Seeing bodies.
Yeah.
Like watching their cell phone video footage of what happened that no one has fucking seen, and seeing that and watching that play out. And it's like, and when they tried to tell their story in just like being interviewed, like, this is what happened to us, and these girls are traumatized, but through this process have been able to work it out.
Yeah.
Which has been lovely. And if that's all that happens from this, then great. But 2 days after the attack, we're seeing posters going up around the city that have these paragliders who committed murder, rape, and attempted genocide of people being put up as freedom fighters. It's like, hold on, wait a minute. Oh, hold on. And then it's like, then you got to understand the history of why they would do that.
Yeah.
And then where is that coming from? And there is some pain, like I'm trivializing it, but there's reason.
Yeah.
But you're picking the wrong thing. But then, like, if you get pushed to a certain extent, then you turn to somebody that you don't really understand, an authority that you really don't understand. And at the same time, this organization that's doing this is getting money from the United States. There's also got money from Israel. And there's all these other things. I'm not about that story because it's convoluted and really fucked up. And I don't have the knowledge or the experience to address that, but I can talk about their story and tell it in a very human, very real way that hopefully brings people together and breeds some understanding, where all we're seeing is, I'm going to put a poster up on a light post and this guy's going to tear it down and now we're going to scream at each other.
Yeah.
That does fuck all nothing.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, the protests do nothing. The Free Palestine protests do fuck all nothing. If you're shutting down the 405 freeway, you're making everybody hate you.
Right.
If people are not able to get to a hospital,
right,
or you're protesting a funeral, people hate you. I don't care if they hate me. Well, that's not the right attitude either. Like, there's got to be more of this. I got more messages. Shout out to Outlandish. He's like, don't fucking say my name. Dude, what are you doing? I'm over in Gaza. Don't fucking say my name. What are you talking about? But that guy's been such a brother to me. Like, and we reached out. We had a conversation about Man Down, and then he's like, brother, can I put you on to some poetry from Islam? I have a book of poetry that you should read.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, let me read it.
Yeah.
And I read it. And I'm like, what's this? Like, this is really interesting. He's like, listen, if you're gonna jump into the Quran, it should be like, this. You should read this.
Yeah.
And so he starts introducing things to me, and I'm going, there's a lot of truth in this.
Yeah, man.
And I had a conversation. My girl's Jewish, and has studied like deep.
Right.
And we've had conversations about, I'm like, I want these voices in the mix of something that we're making.
Yeah.
And I said, I want this voice from Islam. I want the teachings of Islam. She's like, what the fuck? Well, you know what?
Yeah.
And then we have those conversations of like, no, but read this.
Yeah.
Like read this. Like, that's truth. Like this little thing here, like that's truth.
Yeah.
And if you can find those areas in the Bible, the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, the Emerald Tablets, the Epic of Gilgamesh, the Odyssey, the works of Shakespeare, if you could find those areas where you go, what's the similarities?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's the journey? What's the story? Then everybody goes, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I can see where we fucked up. We got kind of crazy in this thing talking about what to eat and who to hate.
Yeah. Like
we got that fucked up. So let's just talk about, how we do this. And I can say, even with this October 7th project, there's other writers, there's other stories. Hopefully it stays the course and doesn't go into realms of propaganda. I saw the first press release and was like,
yeah.
I'm not feeling that. So, but I get it and I understand it. And I understand the energy and the like we got to tell their story because people are saying they don't exist.
Right.
And that's fucked up. So, but, there's an opportunity here. Like there's an opportunity here.
Yeah.
That we could do what world leaders haven't been able to do ever.
Right.
Right. Because they make money off of war. So they're actually the enemy.
Yeah. They want to fuel it.
So it's hard, man. It's hard. And just trying to get people to calm the fuck down and have a conversation. But they want to go into Trump, Biden.
So we'd rather put our eyes on that.
Yeah. LGBTQ versus straight, alpha male versus beta, this shit. But that's not it. That's not what it's about.
Yeah,
it's about wealthy corporations that run the world versus humanity. And as long as they can keep us like this, they can run shit and keep us attacking each other and going, oh, we can make money off of that. I will sell you an AK-47. I'll sell you an M16.
Yeah.
And you guys can kill each other. Don't wipe each other out. Like just thin the herd. And that's more real estate for us to rebuild.
Right.
It's fucked up.
You find hope in anything?
This.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like conversations with people. Art. Like great music. Great art, great conversations. I found a lot of hope in Brazil, man.
Why? Why?
This is interesting.
Why Brazil?
Because Brazil is nutty, man. Like you go into Rio, there's no fucking around. You get killed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, bro.
Well, like, favelas, right? Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, I want to go to Rio. It's like, you're out of your fucking mind. Plus, I could never get past the accent. Don't kill me, Rio. I love you. Like, I love everybody in Brazil. But, man, you people up in Rio with your Mateus, choppa, 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 chop. That, like, they're talking like baby talk to you.
Yeah.
I can't fuck with that.
You can't get behind it.
I can't get behind that. I gotta hear people from Sao Paulo. I gotta hear people from,
but it gave you hope being there.
Yeah, but it gave me hope being there. Not hope in their accent, but hope. I got a lot of friends from Rio, and I give them shit. But like, it's so different.
Yeah.
To come into a place where everywhere you go, your child's a blessing. That's wild. That's wild, dude. And I don't mean like one little place. I mean like the culture.
Yeah.
Like you come in, they're like, oh my God, you got a baby. How old's the baby? This is great. This is not like strangers on the street. Boop, boop, boop. Just like, what is this? Miracle, amazing. And there's other, it's very celebratory of the family.
Yeah.
And man, bro, like you go to the mall, they got these mothers' waiting rooms
that are
like palaces. They got like changing stations fully outfitted with like baby wipes and like shampoos and a sink and, you know, showers for the kids and you know, nursing quiet rooms for moms and stuff like that. Like not just at the mall, but at restaurants. Like we walked into a restaurant. Okay, check this shit out. Watch this. Watch this. I haven't been in the States for a while now, for a hot minute. And we came back into LA. I'm here, and then I'm out of here. We went to being in Brazil. You go in, and it's like, you know, she's always, you know, Larissa's always like home cooking food for baby. There's no like Gerber up in this bitch. It's like, what is this? You know, guar gum. Get the fuck out of here with this. It's not happening. My kid's eating chicken. You know, rice.
That's right.
You know, that's it. And that's why he's built like
dude.
a linebacker.
He's a linebacker.
Oh, he's a linebacker, dude.
Dude, he's a beast.
Oh, he's scared. He's scary.
How strong is he?
Oh, dude, he's massive. He's like a water buffalo.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he'll pick up a plate and just be like, no, bah! And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like he'll slap me and I'll be like, what?
He's gonna be like 6'6" too,
oh,
dude.
There's nothing I can do. There ain't shit I can do. I'm gonna call your tall ass. For the audience that doesn't know, these are big motherfuckers. Dude, I hadn't seen this dude in real life. And he comes walking in just like, hey, buddy. I'm just like, what the hell is this? And then Mikey comes walking in. I'm like, are you guys about to collect a debt?
Yeah, we're ready, man.
Like, you're debt collectors.
We will
you
be.
got that debt collector
Yeah,
vibe.
man. Whenever you need a debt collector,
It's scary.
You know who to call. You were here
came
podcast.
rolling in. And then
collect rents.
now those boxing videos, I used to think like little Davy.
thought it was cute.
Yeah,
You thought it was
yeah.
cute.
I thought it was cute.
Yeah.
Tear it up.
No.
Cry.
Did I tell you about the owner of the gym?
No.
New gym I'm in.
Okay.
Gross. Like the place is real deal boxing gym,
Right.
killers in there. He goes, Dave, you have a fight before? And I was like, no, I've been training 4 years. Like, just kind of, I started with the acting thing, and now I'm.
You should have been like, not until now.
Well, and he was like, you should do this, man. Like, let's do this. Let's have one fight. And I think I'm gonna do one fight, dude.
Are you serious?
I swear I'm gonna have like.
Why
I
are
think
you looking at me like you want?
no, not with you, not with
He's
you.
like, I want to fight.
No.
And now,
We're looking for it.
But it's funny. It started with an acting like research thing, and then I was like, I'm doing
for
research.
like a boxing.
Yeah,
for like-
I was writing
like a
something.
role.
I was writing a role for myself, and I was like, "This dude used to box. Let me look like I know what the fuck I used to do."
Right.
And now I'm like, I think I'm gonna have to do this shit.
You're gonna have
You're
to.
looking good.
I'm
I'm gonna
saying.
have to do this shit,
You're
dude.
looking good. But yeah, dude, and by the way, like on the Brazil tip, like that's daunting. Like, cause you get down there and everybody's built like Yoel Romero.
Oh yeah,
You know, he's from Cuba, but like,
and they
they're
all
built
know
like Jack
jujitsu.
City.
They could all kill
All
you.
doing jujitsu.
Yeah,
every
yeah.
single one of them.
Yeah.
And Muay Thai.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And they're all just like, you can be whatever you want to be. Go get it.
Holy shit.
You know, and down there, like everything's legal. So they're just like, yeah, just like
Just juicing.
Anavar, testosterone,
yeah,
whatever the
to
hell.
the
The women
kill.
are doing it too.
Wow.
Oh, bro, because they get older. So like that health tourism thing is like a very real thing.
Oh shit.
They'll like go down to the doctor. Women are jacked.
You gotta make a trip down there,
Jack
Dave.
City. I'm not
You,
down
dude.
there.
You,
You
need to
get
pick
down
up a 50-year-old Brazilian woman that's juiced to
Just
the
like,
dude,
gills,
and I'm
dude.
out there just like my hands
Rock hard.
You got a roller? I gotta roll this out. I gotta roll this out.
Holy shit.
You know, and these guys
You
are
got
like, do
someone
it
for him?
again. Do it again.
Do you know a Brazilian lady we could hook him up with? Juiced up?
Oh, you need the juice?
Well, no,
I can
for-
give you the juice.
No, a woman for him. The juiced up woman.
Yeah,
And
you
move
You
over.
want to
Yeah.
give me a juiced up woman?
Yeah, I think that'd be good for you, man.
But
Brazilian.
but that's also the thing, like health and wellness. Like you go down there and it's like at night, everybody's partying. Like everybody's like the music's like
living.
Yeah.
they're living, they're
They're
eating.
living
The
life.
food's incredible.
Yeah.
And the next morning, the whole city's up running,
Yep. Yeah.
exercising, dudes screaming on bullhorns.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
what is this culture?
Yeah.
But so like family friendly, family oriented. You go into a restaurant and you know, Lewis is like, you know, I got this food I got to heat up for my baby, and they're like, give it to me.
Yeah.
Pop it in a pan. There you go. All right, cool. Oh, you got baby bottles? We'll wash them for you. It's cool.
Yeah.
Not in fucking LA, bro.
Oh,
That
really?
shit don't fly. No. It's
LA,
not
that's
sanitary.
That's a risk.
There's a
It's a health
sanitary
risk.
risk. There's a health
That like
risk.
confuses me, dude.
No, and
Yeah.
and people look at you like, oh, you have a kid?
Oh my god.
Yeah. Why? What's
They have no
going
kid
on?
sign on the restaurant.
We're supposed to
You have
take
a
the
child?
children's blood and put it on our
I
own
couldn't.
skin.
I just can't. I
That
have
way we
2 dogs
never wrinkle. Yeah.
and 4 cats, so it's
Yeah.
basically the same thing. Really, motherfucker? Like your cat goes haywire. What does it do? Bite somebody?
I'm starting to see dogs in strollers. And I gotta.
Yeah,
gotta
that
put a
kind of
stop to
shit.
that.
Your
Stop
dog
it.
might bite somebody. You fuck up a kid. He's gonna go hit a red button and
Yeah.
annihilate a nation.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the same thing.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
different.
not.
We're talking different things.
Yeah, we were at. You know what? Fuck it. The Huntley.
Oh shit.
So
Name
we
drop.
were over at the Huntley
Club it.
for this
Clip
thing,
it.
and meeting with some people. I got to meet Nate Diaz.
Oh,
Shout out to Nate.
my God.
What a
Shout
G.
out.
Favorite
G.
fighter. Sorry, Michael Bisbing.
No, Nate's
I know-
the guy.
I know Mike.
Everyone loves
I've
Nate.
been trying to get this project done forever.
With
and we're
Mike?
close. Yeah.
Oh, Mike's a G
I,
too.
I got a special thanks on his documentary.
Dude, he
'cause I
fought
hooked up
with
some of the people.
one eye.
Listen, Michael Bisbing, right up there, man. 'Cause
Absolute
he is
G.
like Michael Bisbing. Look at this. See now, and then I could see Nate, like somebody sending him this, and he goes, "Oh man, I ain't fucking with that."
No.
He was supposed to talk
Don't do
about
that,
me. Now he's
Nate.
talking
Nate,
about Michael
don't do that.
Bisbing.
Don't
Man,
do
fuck
that,
this
Nate.
guy.
Don't do
He
that.
won't.
So yeah, but Michael, who I've gotten to know, is a gentleman. He's an excellent father, like an excellent father. He's an excellent human being,
Yeah.
centered, great guy, warrior. Like you don't do the shit that he's done. I mean, working out that system with his trainer so he can fight with one
Wow.
eye. What a psychopath. But I mean, I have the most utmost respect for him, not just as a fighter, but as a human being and as a creative. And I'm, you know, we're still working out this deal, and it's more about the director, who I think we're moving on to another director.
I'll do it too.
Yeah, but Michael's great.
I accept.
But Nate, I got to sit down with him,
I accept.
and I told him, I was like, dude, you're my favorite fighter because California and
Oh,
like
yeah,
being born
dude.
and raised there,
Represent.
like that's my guy.
Yeah, come on.
And plus, he'll fight anybody,
Anyone.
dude. And just standing with him in the lobby of the Huntley, and then when he came up to see us, he's ready to fight
Oh yeah.
anybody
Yeah.
at any time, at any fucking dude. Nate will throw
Like, what's
down
up,
with anybody
motherfuckers?
at any
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
That's how he's talking to me. He's talking to me like this. He's like, "So where you from, man? Like you from?" Like he's asking me, like he's asking me for something. Like, did you say like his 3-moment meeting? We
Yeah.
talk about that in acting.
Yeah.
His active meaning. His inner life is, what the fuck did you say to me? That's what he's saying all the time.
At all
So it's
time.
like, so you grew up in California.
That's
What's that
awesome.
like?
Oh
You know,
shit.
like, and I'm like, are you
He's
are
waiting.
you about to punch me?
He's waiting for you to say some shit.
He's waiting for me to say some shit. He's waiting for anybody. Anybody. He was checking into the Huntley. He's like, man, I don't know what's going on in my car. I don't know. And I was like, hey, is everything cool? He's like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah,
man?
yeah.
I'm talking to this guy. I'm
Yeah.
angry at this guy,
Yeah.
but now I'm going to be
Now
angry at you. You know, and I'm like, no, man, like I'll pay for your room. Like whatever, you know, start talking to him. I was like, you know, like I do jits, I throw hands, but I have no misconceptions. You will fucking
it'll be
eat
a
my face off.
Bad day
Hannibal Lecter.
for anyone.
Yeah, so but he's always ready to fight. But I freaking love that guy, and I expressed how much I love him. He's so freaking great, dude. But the Huntley is dog shit, and I'm gonna tell you why. So we go up to and I know these guys are just doing their job, but we're sitting down, and she does the thing. She's like, I got some food, you know, for my kid. It's cold, so if you could just bring like some hot water, because I don't want to make a scene, I could just put the hot water in and mix it up. And the guy goes, sorry, we can't. And this isn't over an exaggeration. It was like his brain went, and he just goes, we can't heat up any baby food because it's not sanitary. There's health code. They could shut us down. It was
Oh
this,
my
fear thing.
God.
And she goes, no, I'm not asking you to do that. I just wanted some water, some like hot water. He goes, well, hot water is a bit of a safety concern, so we can't do that. We can't bring that to you. And I go, hey, my man, like you make tea, right?
Just give me
If
a
you
tea
could just
with
give
no
me some
bag.
tea and we'll just call it a day and we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
Oh.
Fucking manager comes out.
Oh my.
And you know,
For
Stanley
hot water?
Tucci looking motherfucker. Like
Yeah.
he's, you know, bald. He's got a suit. He's got a pin, like cufflinks. You know, comes out pressed. Like everything's pressed. Looked like he just walked out of a dry cleaner. And he comes walking up and he's like, I understand there's an issue with the food, with the baby's food. We just, I cannot stress this enough.
Wow.
We cannot heat up the food. And she goes, I'm not trying. And I go, dude, we're not trying that. Like just hot water. We need hot water to heat up the food. And this is what he said. He goes, okay. I think I understand. What type of a vessel do you need for the water to come in? And this is what I said to him. I go, it's not the chalice of Christ, the vessel. What the vessel? I go, bro, a bowl and some hot water. And he goes, I'll tell you what. This is what I'm going to do. And we really can't be facilitating this, but this is what I'll do. I'll bring a wider bowl because I see your container, so a bit of a wider bowl so you can handle it, not burn your hands. And I'll bring a teapot with hot water. And I'm like, holy shit! Like what? Have you ever seen a baby before? Have you ever held a baby?
That's
like, do you know
crazy,
what time it is with this? Like, what the fuck is happening?
Dude, that's insane.
That's crazy. But it was like that everywhere.
Wow.
Like LA is just like, you know, LA is I was over at Callan's and he's like, come upstairs with me. Look at the view. He's like, you think I own this house? He's so funny. He's like, you think I own this? No, I rent. That's why daddy's got to make the big money. You know, it's so funny, dude. He's cracking me up.
Dude, but I noticed you did that yesterday. You were like, you were asking about the sushi spot for you and your wife, and you were like, is it okay if we bring the babies in? I'm like, why are you saying that?
Yeah.
I don't know why you're asking.
Because that's LA.
But now I
like,
get
there's
it.
some places where they're like, I'm sorry, you can't come in here with the kid. It's like, what?
That's insane to me.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just like, what the fuck are you talking
LA is someplace I have zero interest in living ever,
Zero.
bro.
Well, because LA is fake. It's fake boobs.
Yeah. That's how you say it. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because it looks great,
Yeah.
but it's not real. Like it's not the real thing.
Everyone's got something kind
There's
of
something
hiding.
like they're like, oh, but I love the weather. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah,
There's other
yeah.
places that
Have
that
nice
that
weather.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, Santa Monica, where you running on the beach, get a hypodermic needle in your foot. Santa Monica, where they dump raw sewage into the ocean when it overflows, like straight up.
Yeah.
Poo water on the beach. At Santa Monica, we're just miles offshore, like 20 miles offshore. There's radioactive barrels that have been dumped that are leaking radioactivity in the water. That's Santa Monica. Breathe that shit in. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Where the crime is increased, homelessness is increased,
Right.
where they shut you guys down. I remember that shit.
Yeah.
I remember going to the coffee place and they go, okay, everybody outside, masks on, 6 feet apart, show me your vaccination card, and then you can come in and then take your mask off and everybody can sit right next to each other and cough all over
Makes
each
no
other.
fucking
Makes
sense.
no fucking sense.
Yeah.
Your shit makes no sense.
Yeah.
I'll put another dude on blast.
Clip it.
Yeah, no, I'll put this dude on blast. That's another thing over the vaccines, right? I had to get one
Okay.
because I had to be on the Paramount lot.
So you had
And
to.
I could have held that line, or it's like pay rent or get it.
Right.
Well, I'm fucked, so I had to
Had
get
to
it.
get a shot.
But I didn't get any of the other ones. I got COVID 3 times. It sucked.
Yeah.
But, I followed a regimen. I got monoclonal antibodies. I thought I was going to die. And then I got monoclonal antibodies.
Whoa,
better
it was
the
that
next
bad?
day.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, it was gnarly. I was like, nothing was bringing the fever down. I was coughing.
Wow.
Like, just felt like I was going to die. But then I went in and got that next day.
Yeah.
Gone.
Wow.
Everything was gone.
Yeah.
And there were other things that I was doing, but it's like it's established that anybody who had comorbidities or pre-existing illnesses, and anybody that was old, should they have gotten it? Yeah, probably, because that's who was at risk, right? That if you get it, that's who's going to die of this thing. But babies and other people and the stop the spread doesn't stop the spread. Getting the vaccine does not stop the spread, period, full fucking stop. It's not a conspiracy theory. Like even Fauci's up there going, yeah, I never said that.
Yeah.
Bullshit. You said it.
Yeah.
And yes. And in the same breath, he's going, yeah, it doesn't stop transmission. That's not what you fucking said. The slogan was stop the spread. Like, get the vaccine, you can't transmit it to anybody, right? And everybody who loves Trump, it's like, okay, is Trump the smartest guy in the world who got like duped? even though he had control of everybody in his circle, he appointed his own people, all that shit. He's the guy who cut all the red tape for the vaccine.
Yeah.
And people are like, Trump's going to save us from the demon pharmaceutical company. He's the guy who fast-tracked it.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
But at least he's not the Weekend at Bernie's, you know, or the lady who's like, you know, people don't understand, you know, African Americans like I do, even though I incarcerated, you know, more people unjustly, put more people in prison. You're all fucked. Democrats and Republicans. You're all a bunch of fucking idiots in this country. Like, and then people, you don't like it, leave. I did. Yep. I left. So you don't have that ammunition to throw at me. Mm-hmm. But, you know, like this, the vaccines, like even on something like that, I said exactly what I just said to you guys, right? And this dude hits me up. We've been following each other forever. Met him a few times, gave him a bunch of business. Katrina Law is an actress. It's her husband. Mm. And I can say this because what? It's not defamatory. You sent me the message and then decided to put me on blast. So I just said like, hey, this is, you know, it's damaged people. It's hurt people. Yeah. It's giving people heart palpitations. It's, you know, caused death. It was unnecessary. Shutting down all these businesses the way that it was shut down is completely fucking unnecessary. There was a better way to handle this thing, but you guys are holding this line. Like we got to have these conversations because new illnesses will come.
They are already.
We've done this in the past. We got to figure out how to do it. That was all I was saying. Mm. And he goes, what you're saying is incredibly dangerous. You got to unfollow from me. Don't ever speak to me again. Like this. I was like, what the fuck is this? Whoa. So I like sent him a message and it's like blocked.
Yeah.
I'm like,
no conversation.
Why are you like firing a shot and then blocking me? So then I like shoot him a text. I'm like, yo, you don't get to
walk off.
Fuck your opinion. And now I'm behind a brick wall. You know? You don't get to do that. Hey, what's up?
I'm at your door.
Like we were friends.
Yeah.
We did business.
Yeah.
I sent a lot of people your way. We can't talk about this because this is precisely the problem. The fact that we can't talk about it. Like, and I was
that's when it becomes the most dangerous thing is when there can't be conversation anymore.
Yeah, and I'm like, I was the guy going, get the jab, everybody get the jab, because I thought that was it.
Yeah.
And then I started seeing stuff and I was like, oh, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And I went hard on people too. So I get where he's coming from, but let's like talk about it. So bro, if you're listening, you know, like let's have that conversation. But it's just like wild. And that's LA. LA is people holding to these like ideological lines no matter what.
But even if they don't believe him, I feel like
they don't believe him, they hold it, dude.
That sucks, dude. That's more harmful, I feel like, than anything.
Yeah, it's like, and this self-importance.
Yes.
The whole world revolves around Hollywood. That's the other thing. Living in Thailand, you're living in Brazil, you know, going around the world and trying to find these spots. Nobody gives a fuck about Hollywood. Nobody gives a shit about Hollywood. They care more about Bollywood than they do anybody else.
Straight up.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Like I go, oh yeah, you know, I write movies. They're like,
cool, man.
Rad, I guess. Do you surf? Because that's got value to me. Do you cook?
Yeah, man.
You know, like, because what you're saying, I guess that's cool. You like it?
Yeah.
No, I kind of fucking hate it. I kind of hate making movies. Why do you do it? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, you want to go swim? Yeah, let's go swim. You know, but Hollywood thinks the world fucking revolves around them, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
And nothing's more evident than when we're faced with death and destruction and businesses shutting down, people killing themselves. You know, this horrible pandemic that runs through. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Imagine there's no heaven. You can try.
So bad.
Imagine all the people. I'm saving lives. Living.
Go ahead, Mike.
You know,
you can be part of this ad.
You may say I'm a dreamer. We're saving lives. Gal Gadot, Will Ferrell. We're saving fucking lives.
They ruined it.
The star system dead. Am I right?
Dead, dude.
It's dead, dude.
It's dead.
It's over, man. It's silly.
What was in their heads, Mike?
Why did they do it?
What is in their head to go, people are dying? We need to sing a song.
It had to be, I need to put myself out there in this opportunity.
We need to sing a song.
No, it's not, I care about. Well, maybe there's a percent. I don't know these people, but there's got to be part of it that's just like we need to get our faces out there. We need to book something.
People aren't.
This is the- this is the
people aren't
state-
talking about me.
Just
Why are they
remember
talking
me.
about this virus?
Just remember me, please.
People are talking about COVID.
Yeah, but you know what?
They're not talking about me. They'll talk about me if I talk about how I feel about
the
COVID.
cause.
Okay,
That's
all
right. That's
all
right.
Now I'm in.
I think the average person now, the person that just works the 9 to 5, comes home, throws a TV on or a movie or something, I think they're catching on to this bullshit. For the majority, dude, I maybe I'm jaded.
On Jimmy Fallon, where like Hillary Clinton goes gung gung gung. It starts with her.
Yeah.
Gung gung gung.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the We Will
Yeah,
Rock You.
yeah.
Nya, nya, nya.
Yeah.
And then it goes to the wonderful actress from Seinfeld.
Right. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's just
God,
like
I don't know
ging
names.
ging
Julia
ging.
Dreyfus.
There it is.
Yeah, Dreyfus. And then she's like, nang, nang, nang. And then it goes to Ocasio-Cortez. And she's like, nang, nang, nang. You know, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what is this cockamamie fucking horse shit?
Yeah, blending politics and entertainment.
Yeah, like, we will, propaganda. Bum, bum, bum. You know, it's just what the fuck is this shit? And Hillary, just like the crypt keeper. The crypt keeper. Just like up in that
Crypt
thing.
keeper, man.
And that's her first face going off.
But she looks
by
the
the
same.
way.
She
Like
didn't
it's
grow-
wonk, wonk, da. Not hard. Not hard. And she can't even
She
hit the
couldn't
beat.
hit that rhythm.
Yeah. And then Ocasio-Cortez.
Oh no.
And it's like, yo, I saw you doing whiskey shots, girl. Shout out to Ocasio-Cortez. I saw you doing whiskey shots in a Hollywood producer's house. I saw you doing whiskey shots with some people that you disagree with ideologically.
Oh God.
And then that
all like-
motherfucker got up and went and did a little bumpity bump bump
We're
bump
gonna get whacked.
in
bro.
the
I know,
washroom
this is the last episode.
with Gavin Newsom.
Fuck.
He dropped it.
Gavin Newsom, he loves the devil's dandruff.
So Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom.
You heard it here first, folks. I don't give a fuck, bro. You think I care?
We're leaving, dude.
I just told you,
Get out of here.
bro. I just told you that idea is always on the table of myself. If I could suicide by
Oh,
agency,
dude.
let's get it done.
Dude.
Let's talk. But let me talk my shit.
What?
This is
Okay, let's reel it into this. What
this is gonna be the most mad.
dude, that's just
episode.
incredible.
But it's true.
I appreciate
dude.
it. I
It's
appreciate
true.
it.
I remember. You know who's somebody? Interestingly enough, given my Mormon background, right?
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, you know who's somebody that was always on the level?
Who?
Mitt Romney.
Mm.
Bet you didn't think those fucking words were
Romney.
Never would have thought that.
I showed you the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did went to a fundraiser, went to a couple fundraisers of his. Just because the guy that I was doing security for was a big donor of his.
Okay.
So I got to get close to them, sat down at dinners, talked to him. And then we did security for him and Steve Young with this nonprofit organization called Right to Play out in Africa. So
Steve
they were-
Young.
Yeah, Steve Young. Remember that?
Yeah.
49ers, baby.
Oh yeah.
Mormon.
Lefty.
Mormon. Shout out to the Mormons who love Steve Young. And Donny Osmond and
Daniel.
Brandon Flowers and Imagine Dragons. Boy, that guy hit hard.
Oh.
Yo,
Oh yeah,
wait,
lead singer
what?
of Imagine
Oh,
Dragons.
yeah.
He's like, this shit isn't real. I'm
Yeah.
gonna do all the drugs in the world.
Oh, yeah.
That's usually what happens. But Mitt Romney, he believes it, man.
He's in.
He's in. I don't agree with this.
Is it Joseph Smith?
Yeah, Joseph.
Joseph
Smith.
Smith.
Yeah. But he comes from like a long line of Mormons. But
Got
that is a guy who believes in the Constitution.
Okay.
Like believes in like this country is blessed by God.
Yeah. Wow.
Constitution was written by divinely inspired individuals. Wow. Like he believes it. Like I watched this dude, I watched how he interacted with people.
Yeah.
And again, like I don't agree with this motherfucker at all, but I respect him.
Yeah.
I respect him because whatever happened with Bing Capital or whatever, I'm sure there's bodies, skeletons under Domino's Pizza and FedEx because those are the businesses he built. But I watched him just interacting with people and treating people very fairly, very equitably. He was very interested in people's stories. And it wasn't a false kind of bullshit politician thing. Like he was really trying to talk to people. And I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah.
Just to see that. But that was rare.
Yeah, he chose to believe in like this country is.
And that's rare though. Like I've seen too many of these people with their, you know, like just, you know, and people go, well, how do you know?
Right.
Watch him.
Yeah.
Just watch Matt Getz when he gets ready to go up to the podium.
Yeah.
And he sits there and he's like, and he gets up and he's like, woo, let me tell you about Ocasio-Cortez. She's the devil. You know, and it's like, I'm sorry, I've been around cokeheads quite a bit.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on, buddy?
Yeah, man.
You need to,
Yeah, dude.
you got some,
Yeah, dude.
you need to.
You know, the first time I saw cocaine was at a Hollywood-ish party.
Really?
First time ever.
Yeah.
It was in a short film, Point Pleasant.
Ah, okay.
And there was like, it was like a beach house situation.
Yeah.
Go next door. There's like a flamboyant gentleman who's like, you know, we're having a party tonight, guys. If you want to come over, come over. When we were at the cast, like, yeah, sure. Go over there. Guy comes out. Turns out he's a huge agent. Huge. I was like, oh man, maybe this is my break. Maybe I find an agent through this party. It was insane. And I was, you know, much younger, but he goes, there's pizza here. There's candy in the kitchen, and then there's cocaine in the bathroom. Have a great time, and like floated away. And now I'd never seen it before.
Like, really,
dude? So I turn around, and everyone is gone. I'm like, where'd everyone go? They're all in the bathroom, like,
of course,
blowing it down. And I was like, dude, what the? I panicked, bro. I called my wife. She was my girlfriend at the time. I was like, I'm stalling. I'm trying to like eat some pizza and like just mind my own business. And like the dude comes back.
Surprise! It's cocaine pizza.
He's like, yeah, representing this person and this person and this person. And like, yeah, anyway, bye. And like floats away. It was the craziest shit. It was my first taste of like a powerful player in the industry being around that. And of course, it had to do with drugs being introduced for the first time. Are you really in? Are you half in?
We keep this light. Like we keep it light. And that's what I love about my conversations with you guys. But like, yeah, it is dark, but like, what the fuck are you going to do about it? Like, you can't.
Yeah, you can't.
You know? And I said this and Callan didn't stop me because he wanted to get to Pollard and talking about Pollard. But that's the other reason of leaving LA. And I want to say it here again because it's got to be on record. And it's why I'm doing these podcasts, because that is very serious. And we joke around with people a lot. But like, you know, I participated in 2 different investigations that were done in Hollywood, FBI investigations. And one of them was they were both on monsters. I don't mean like, you know, and I said this to him, but I don't mean like, dope dealing or whatever, because you know during COVID I dealt dope. Like that's what I did. Like the whole world shut down and I went to what I knew.
Wow.
And so I was, you know, dealing everything from you know, distillate to freaking boxes of weed to blow to like whatever pills, like whatever I could do to survive, because work was done. It was done. I had 3 projects going into pre-production that I had, you know, more than enough money and had made purchases, and then everything was gone, like just gone, disappeared, and no prospect of them coming back.
Right.
They're like, no, it's done.
Open-ended.
Like done. It's over. And there's like, well, what am I going to do? Well, and then the town was like, well, we're halting everything. And maybe you could develop some things. And I'm like, develop? Like there's nothing. So I went back to that. But you know, like the town, when I say that, it's because it would take a lot. Like I'm not somebody who, especially with a lot of the things that I've seen, being in protective work, videos I've taken, you know, whatever. Like there's a certain level of like secrecy and like discretion, and you hold this kind of line of like, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. Snitches get stitches. Like, I said that. But like these were fucking monsters. This is a monster of a human being, and the other one's a monster. One of them was very personal because he had sexually assaulted a friend of mine, and so I'm like, I'm gonna put this motherfucker down.
Yeah.
So whatever intel I got, whatever I could get from people I know, I'm gonna get it and I'm gonna hand it over to them. And so I did, and they reached out to me. It wasn't like I was soliciting, but just because, hey, we're seeing you've done this and this and this, so what do you know?
Mm.
I'm like, I know a lot. So let me give it to you. And I gave it to him. And the next day I was contacted by the subject of the investigation.
Whoa.
Yeah. And the only person that knew was them and me. I didn't talk to anybody. There's nobody who knew I was fucking talking to him.
Holy shit.
So then it became life or death in the sense that, you know, this individual and the other individual were clicked up with some dangerous motherfuckers.
Uh-huh.
So I had to find somebody equally as dangerous, which I did. And
You called me.
yeah, I called you and you showed up. You Sasquatch ass showed up.
Hey, man.
But we pulled up and we had a conversation, and just like, you stay where you are.
Whoa.
You know, and don't pop out. You know, because you know this is how it's gonna be. And yeah, fuck it. Recorded that conversation and handed that over. So double checkmate, motherfucker. You know, but in handing that over, it was like, you guys got a problem. That's what led to this.
Yeah.
I'm still doing the right thing. So here you go. Now you got everything you need. Go get them. But you got a fucking problem because somebody's talking to somebody. And it's fucking FBI, you know?
Yeah.
So then I go back and then we're like, we can't stay here. Like, this is no good. It's no good to stay here.
You gotta go.
And so that was part of leaving. And it's just, the whole thing's dirty, man.
Yeah.
It's dirty.
Yeah.
And you meet amazing, beautiful people like yourselves.
Same.
You know, great filmmakers, passionate people, you know, doing it. They're on the like indie side of things, but ultimately bad behavior, narcissism, psychopathy, sociopathy gets rewarded. And so you get to the top and now you got people that don't really have, I mean, do you really watch the Johnny Depp Amber Heard documentary and think that's a guy just like me? He's just like me.
Not at all.
Yeah, he's poor guy. You know, yeah, I can see, and he won that, and she's crazy, and he's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, they're both fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I look at them like I look at Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah,
Like, they're
man.
both fucking crazy.
Yeah, dude.
But you look at him, and in those moments where he's pausing and going, he's controlling the questioning, and it's like just narcissism just
Pouring out of you.
spreading
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Just taking flight, you know?
Yeah, dude.
But that's everybody. That's most people. Most people in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Just disconnected, chasing fame, chasing money, chasing power. And there's some fucked up organizations that get involved in that shit.
Yeah, man.
And in brokering that shit, from government agencies. It's the weird intersection, dude. It's like the Hotel Intercontinental Hollywood. You got government agencies financing productions. You got criminal organizations that are coming in. Criminal organizations, like
And that's been happening for a long time.
Organizations,
But criminal organizations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they come in and they go, all right, we're going to tell this story. Like, we're going to put this money down. We're
Yep.
going to invest this money, like whatever it is. And then you got these wackadoodle fucking organizations that exist to profit off of the loss, like to profit off the loss and the degradation and the humiliation and the destruction of human beings. Everybody from motherfuckers that are praying to a Babylonian owl god in the middle of the woods to, you know, Scientology, you know, and people go, oh, don't you dare say that about my organization. It's like, y'all are fucked. Y'all are fucked. And you keep saying like, yeah, but Tom Cruise is amazing. He holds on to the side of the plane. Didn't you see Mission Impossible? Like, that's so, not Tommy Tom. He's so great. Like, this motherfucker, like, his organization keeps, you know, hires private investigators to hunt people down, dig up info on people. His organization is keeping people against their will in some instances.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, how good is he? But people just forget that shit. He made me feel I watched this movie and he made me feel inspired.
Man.
You know, like, I don't know, man. It's like,
I think when you wake up to it, Adam, like you can, it's easy to fall. You're a kid, you're watching movies, you're growing up watching television, whatever. It becomes this beautiful thing where it's in the way it's framed too. It's like there's gold in the hills, man. there's something to aspire to. You know, the dream is possible, and this and that. And we've talking about it a lot on the phone, just in phone calls, conversations. But being like, I just chased it when I was young because that's what I thought. I was like, man, when I reach that industry and I'm accepted and I'm beloved, then I'll have enough love to look at myself and say, like, you're worth it, man.
Oh man, that's rough,
dude. But it's the truth, Adam. Until you hit a point where you're like, I've tasted a fraction of what that feels like, and I know it's wrong. And I know the thing that I love is my mom taking me to see like mommy and me classes and like in the library when I was a kid and reading me books and shit.
Ah, dude.
You know what I mean? That's what I love.
Like a memory of mom reading to you.
That's right, dude. Or like bringing like stepping on your student film when you were back in college and we just became friends and you were like, I got this thing and I would love for you to act. And I was like, dude, I'm there and we did it. And that's the most fun I had. That's the shit that I'm in love with. I love telling story, being a vessel for something bigger than yourself. That's what telling story is. Connecting in the moment. That's what acting is, impulsively reacting off of you. I'm inspired by your life, and it makes me feel better about what the fuck's going on in mine. That's what acting is.
I think the industry's lost that.
Yeah, with some choices, with creative choices and art. That's what art is.
You should serve the story.
You serve the story, right? And they look at me and they're like, what a dumbass.
Yeah, what a dumbass.
Hey, let's laugh at this little dumbass. Yeah. And I know that. So now I no longer look at like the Tom Cruises of the world. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but even like Shia. Yeah. I've expressed my love for Shia, dude, to you. Artistically, what he means to me, through
a lot of people
the roof. Through the roof. And I used to like pray to that God, man. Like Shia was my God, dude, for a long time. It wasn't Jesus Christ. It wasn't the God and like the savior of things. It was Shia.
Yeah.
And that's what I like. That's what pushed me to get out of bed and pursue this thing until finally I can look at him as a man and say like, I respect him as a man. But he's no longer my God. I don't have to pray to the industry of acting anymore. I don't have to frame my life after something that is greater, like that will make me tons of money and I'll gain fame and then my dad will be proud and then I'll be able to be something special. I don't need it anymore, dude. So those interviews, they don't land the same way anymore. I don't care who you're in the room with. You matter to me because we're friends.
Yeah.
Honestly, if all the film I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care either.
Yeah,
you're a great dude. And you know, also on that, like you'd be a great dad.
Oh man.
You'd be a great dad. Both 100%. Of you guys. Like you guys, like, you know, I know we're in a world of like people shouldn't raise kids or bring kids in this world because it's so fucked up. But you guys would be great. I have hope in the future because I know you guys, and we should be supporting independent filmmakers to tell stories because story is king. People are starting to figure that out now. Yeah. That Tom Cruise, you know, I saw Steven Spielberg saying like. Not to make this about Tom again, but Steven Spielberg said, "You saved us. You saved the box office." I'm like, Steven, shut up.
Yeah, no.
He didn't.
Yeah,
like there's a lot of things at work there.
Yes,
it's a pre-existing IP, Mission Impossible. It's a pre-existing IP, Top Gun.
Yeah,
and had all the military funding in the world.
That's right.
And they were doing something different. They were putting, you know, cameras inside of cockpits and doing some really wild shit. And people were like, I could go to the theater and see that.
Yeah, man.
I could see that.
Yeah, dude.
But that movie about Tom Cruise being a cocaine smuggler for the CIA, where the fuck did that go?
Yeah.
Straight into the Walmart bin.
That's
Nobody
right.
cares.
That's right.
So if the stars still had the power, like where the fuck's that? Or Black Adam. Or the list goes on, you know, Madam Web, you know, any of these things.
But if it's based on meritocracy, I go back to Shia.
Sure.
He deserves to be respected for his craft.
Sure.
He deserves it.
Sure.
The guy does what he does, and he does it at a level no one can touch, in my opinion. Yeah. In this generation, there is,
and I can't say it, like his delivery, like, you know, people find it abrasive. But he just like cuts the shit. He's like, this is not working because it does not serve.
But so do you, and that's why I appreciate you.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are the same way. Like it's got to be. Tell me a good story. Like
that's it.
You're sitting around with some buddies around.
But that's the point. That's the point. That's the hill I'm willing to die on. I told you that.
Yeah.
I'm willing to die on that hill. If I make no money ever, if I'm working in a cafe until I'm fucking 60, I don't care.
People don't understand that though.
Well, I'll tattoo it on
I'm
my
doing this
neck,
weird thing
dude.
with
No,
my
it's
leg.
fine. I like that. I like that
I'm just
move.
doing this. Look at this move. This is
Yeah. But you can fuck with it or not. But that's how I
People
feel.
don't get that though. That there really isn't a feeling like. I remember, I wrote. There's only a few times where this has happened. It happened on Man Down. It happened on the October 7th thing. It happened on this thing that I just got done writing. The October 7th episode, I had all the data. And I think this is maybe something I can give to you guys. You probably already know it, but like, I'm all about preparation, like all about the preparation.
Fuck yeah.
All about it. Like spend that time, not even in the execution. The writing actually goes quick.
That's right.
A couple weeks.
Yeah. But it's the
Tops.
load up.
It's the load up.
That's right.
And it's going like, okay, I need the footage. I need to talk to these people. I need to go meet them. I gotta get there. That DNA. I gotta feel that energy. I gotta feel what that's like. I gotta go see these places. And then when it went to the writing, I literally locked myself in a room, and every day, sun up, sun down for like 3 days straight. I put on the music playlist from the Nova Festival and just wrote. And there was a thing that took over. And I think that's Ole. That's right. The hand of God. Like it comes in and says, no, this is the story that you need to tell. And it's the story. That's the story. And it's not plot. It's not mechanizations.
No,
it's not twists and turns. It's, as cool as everybody loves these diagrams and these Instagram videos going, this is the 3-act structure.
That's
There's not this and
fucking
this and this.
nonsense.
And it's junk. It's more about like the hero's journey.
That's right.
Maybe a little bit of that, but there's also other ways of telling stories, if it's a scary story or whatever kind of story you're telling. But it really is about emotion. It's about connection. It's about universal truth.
That's right.
You want to hit those things.
A human thread.
You want to find and the cheap version is, and the shitty thing about it is people have figured out the dollar store version.
That's right.
Which is like,
I always make
we
the
open the
joke.
film with our
There you go.
Marine veteran.
Yeah.
He's in uniform and he's getting up. He rolls over and his wife's in bed with him. And then she rolls over to meet him halfway, and you see she's pregnant. And he puts his hand on the belly and leans down and kisses him. Mwah. And then now the audience is emotionally invested. Get the fuck out of here with that.
Let's go.
Get out of here with that.
Let's go.
But this everywhere. I
You're
see
right.
this shit everywhere.
It's garbage.
It's garbage. And this kind of like, thing, like, what these really excellent movies with no-name actors and people that nobody would be able to recognize. Korea's got this formula fucking down, dude. Korea's like, these Korean filmmakers are just fucking
They're
everywhere.
crushing.
They're turning like all of filmmaking into a speed bag.
Yeah, man.
It's like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can do this all day.
Yeah, dude.
Eat kimchi and fuck you guys up.
Fuck yeah,
Like, dude,
Fuck
they're
yeah.
amazing, bro.
Really good.
Like all these movies, and
Yeah,
pick your
man.
genre.
Yeah, dude.
Pick your genre: horror film, family dramas, like whatever, war films. Like,
But
all
what's
this
their
stuff coming out.
priority? What do you think?
Story.
That's it.
It's story, and it's getting right to that. What is this about? Like, what is this about? Like, but this thing that I'm working on with Shai is, I was telling this director, I go, what is this about? And he goes, well, it's about this world. I go, fuck the world. Like, what is this about?
Yes, man.
And then you get to that
Premise, dude.
that thing. It's about a father coming together with his daughter. And are they going to come together or are they going to split apart?
Right.
Is it going to be, but these two things are coming towards each other.
That's right.
And they're either going to do this or they're going to do this and stay, or they're going to do this and then come together. Now I
Right.
feel like I'm fucking Ed Harris at that. What's that? It's about violence.
But it's this. It's this.
It's fucking this. If nobody's seen that, look up Ed Harris.
But you never saw it. You
Oh,
gotta.
yeah.
The
I'm
history
sorry.
of violence is fucking amazing. I'm hitting the mics, but it is that thing. It's like, it's that simplicity
Yeah.
of what are we seeing? And sometimes there's no dialogue. I mean, you look at Valhalla Rising.
Mhm.
I mean, Mads Mikkelsen's acting his damn ass off. There isn't a line of dialogue from that dude.
Yeah, man.
And just speaking volumes, just being, just right there. The acting school.
Oh yeah.
So Shia's school, he'd probably be upset if I called it that, but whatever. I went down there, I was fucking with it for a while. things were getting, and I think he would agree, things were getting kind of weird. So I bounced, and then he righted that ship. But the only reason that ship got righted is because he was riding his life. And so I'm, if I was in LA, I'd probably be fucking with it right now. But I got no problem going like, this isn't for me. We're getting into weird shit.
Yeah,
I'm out.
That's fair.
Yeah,
man.
And it doesn't matter who it is. I don't care. I don't get starstruck on anybody, because we're all human. But
That's right.
But he does what he does very well. And there was one thing in particular. It was an exercise where an individual would say, you would hop up with a thought, an idea, and anybody could do it. Anybody could participate. And these classes were free, by the way. And in Slauson, like one of the gnarliest neighborhoods out there. And so this kid, you would stand up and go, okay, we begin. And then they would start the exercise, whatever it is, like almost like a superlative activity in the Meisner work.
Yeah.
So the same thing. So maybe a kid would stand up and grab a set of keys and just go like, all right, I'm going to take this key off here.
Right. Yeah.
He just starts doing this activity.
Urgent, meaningful. And,
urgent, meaningful.
Yeah.
And you're just watching this dude, do this thing.
Yep.
And then somebody go freeze. And he freezes. And they will either add to that scene, replace him, take him away, but they'll riff.
Okay.
So then like I would come in and go, give me those. I'm not driving tonight. Fuck out of here. Go sit down.
Yeah.
Go, I can't believe, whatever you're doing,
Yeah.
you would like riff off that activity. Or maybe I might sit down, grab this, and now I'm starting a car. Like that's the literal thing, but like whatever. Or I'd, spin these in my hand, whatever it is. But where it was going is people were turning it into dialogue. So they were turning it into a door knock activity in the Meisner work.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden somebody's doing an activity or somebody's doing something.
Yeah.
Engaged in something.
And then there's a door.
Yeah. And then somebody would jump up and go, where have you been?
It's some cheesy.
Some actor trying to force some shit.
Yeah, we all do it at one point.
You don't know?
Yeah.
You're my mom. You've been missing for years.
Yeah.
And now they're in the spin out backstory and all this bullshit. It's like
something you can't fucking believe.
I didn't know this.
Yeah,
we didn't agree on this.
It's not
backstory.
honest. It's not honest.
You're forcing some shit.
Yeah.
So Shai's like, fuck that. Nope. We're cutting that. Stop. It's just about, doing the thing. And if something moves you, you add to it.
That's right.
It's like if you just go, bomb, bomb, bomb. And so somebody's like, bomb. He's like, do it. And they're like, bomb, bomb, bomb.
Yeah.
And he's like, keep doing that. And then he goes to this person, you do this.
Yeah.
Now everybody's playing music.
Yeah.
It's like that. So then, of course, the next actors to get up were like, bomb,
Oh,
bomb,
no.
bomb. He's like, wait, it's not the literal thing. Come on.
Yeah.
And he did this thing where he goes, what are we talking about? We're talking about behavior, right? We're talking about lighting. Like that's it's cinema. We're doing it here. We got the lights here, right? And there could be writing, but it's situational. So now you're talking about emotion. What's the situation? Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's the literal thing, but sometimes it's what you're conveying. And then the action of a thing. Right. What does that mean? And then I watched this dude just go, all right, fuck it. And he gets up and he looks around, he sees somebody, he goes, give me that. And somebody had a rain slicker. And so he grabs it. And then somebody had a pack of cigarettes. He's like, give it to me. And then somebody else had a wad of cash, and he was like, open up your wallet, take out some cash, give it to me. And he walks over to the lighting guy, says something, because there was lighting and sound. You could have whatever lighting and sound you wanted. You could go to somebody and say, hey, I want you to play this song. And they would play it, and you'd get up and do something with it. Or this sound effect, or this whatever. Like you had a sound board of anything, and just a sound guy on you and a lighting guy on you, whatever you wanted, you could get in this warehouse. And so he just gets up, and this guy starts playing like a old jazz song, and then like Rain. And he gets out there and he like puts on this slicker and just starts messing around with this lighter in his hand. And he's just like doing this. He pats himself down for a cigarette, like finds it, and then gets it and starts lighting it. But he's thinking. He's like thinking about something. He lights the cigarette, and that's it. He's just like lighting a cigarette, smoking a cigarette, and then he like looks up and looks around, and at this point, I'm like, you're standing in the rain. Like I believe he's getting wet because he's doing these different like actions, and then puts on the slicker and he's just sitting there, and then the lights get like dark, and then there's like this single spotlight on him, and it's just like he's smoking this cigarette in the rain. So now you don't see his face, you just see that little butt like lighting and going out, and this like harsh lighting, and then it turns into something different. Wow. And it's just cinematic. Like you just watch that. It's just behavior.
Yeah.
So it's just this wild, amazing thing.
Yeah, man.
But we're in this YouTube world now where everybody's like, this is my review of Wolverine. So I didn't really like the movie because, and everybody's dissecting it because they think they know. And to a certain extent, people do know when something hits them. But we are in a world where everybody's opinion matters as to whether something's art or not. And it really isn't. There's this guy, Bua. You got to follow him on Instagram. Bua. I'll send it to Jay Bua, Justin Bua. I can't remember his name. Dude, this guy, classically trained artist. Like could paint like Sistine Chapel level shit. He's unbelievable. Old guy. Teaches in New York. I got to go fucking see him. Oh no, he moved to Florida. Fuck. I got to go see him. Incredible artist, dude. This guy's, he grew up with the whole graffiti crews and like Brooklyn and shit. He was like, he's the guy who went to them, was like, I got to teach you principles of art to make your shit better. Like this guy's just a gnarly artist, but he does these videos on Instagram where he's like, what's this? It's a shovel. You got a shovel hanging from the ceiling in an art museum. It's a fucking shovel. It's not art. And then people are like, art is anything you want it to be. No, it's a shovel. It's a snow shovel. Get the fuck out of here with this.
But it symbolizes.
Or the guy going like, I'm gonna. It's a giant mud wheel.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my head against the mud wheel.
Oh yeah,
and all these hipsters are like, I paid $1,500 to be here and watch this.
God.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And it's like, get the fuck out of here.
What are we looking at, guys?
And that's sold for like $80 million or whatever the fuck it is. Insane. Or that dude who jumps on a trampoline with a paintbrush. Man. Like $8 million sold.
Yeah.
For somebody with just the red paint. It's like, when did we lose like this craftsmanship? Like when did we lose this shit where like even the old rap battles were like Michelangelo, like all these painters are doing this thing, and then Caravaggio comes on and says no.
Check
all
this out.
All this like pastel colored shit.
Let's look at the dark now.
Let's look at the dark. I think Jesus looked like this guy across the street. I think the apostles, look like this. And people are like, whoa. And it's flipping the script on their whole idea of what religion is and stuff. Man. And I think we're there now. I think we're about to cross this crazy
Something's
threshold.
about to happen, man.
Yeah, because we've had our fill of the popcorn and the Big Macs. And it's gone off the rails.
Yep.
The minute She-Hulk is with Megan Thee Stallion, I'm like, what the fuck is this? What am I watching? What the fuck is this?
Yeah, man.
And it's like, I'm doing what Deadpool did. You like Deadpool? Why? Because he's a man? No, I like it because he does it well and it's effective.
Yes.
And Ryan Reynolds' comedic timing is just laser focused. Yeah. And he can execute it, and nobody else can really do that. It's like if you watch somebody else coming on like Mr. Bean, you're like, that's Mr. Bean, bitch.
That's right.
Like only Mr. Bean can do Mr. Bean. What are you doing? Stop that. And it's like, have an original thought. And also like, people take this shit seriously, even though I don't, but like people take comic books seriously. So when you're sitting down with Hulk in a conversation and She-Hulk and him are having a conversation, and the Hulk literally watched all of his friends get vaporized with the snap of a finger, watched half of humanity disappear, was left alone on a rocket ship in space by himself, going mad, ended up on a prison planet where he was forced to fight people to the death.
Gladiator fight.
And you sit there and go, yeah, but you've never been harassed by a man. You don't know what that's like. It's like somebody needs to go pause, walk it back. We're in the writer's room now.
Yeah.
Canon doesn't align with this.
Right.
This man has watched people die in
right.
front of him and has killed people.
That's right.
As a prisoner. And you're saying your life is worse because you get catcalled by construction workers. Yeah. Like we got to make a little. We got to talk.
Yeah. Conversation.
Let's bring up something else.
Yeah.
Like maybe not that. Don't go that. Yeah. It's like overshooting.
100%.
But I think we've had our fill, and I want to see. And I think we're seeing it. I think we're seeing it in music. I thought that was what was so brilliant about Kendrick.
Yeah.
And people were like, oh, he's saying horrible shit. No, he's saying things that are true.
Yeah.
So there's that. And truth resonates.
Always.
Whether it's music or art, and like Bua, calling this out and just saying like, what is this? And then people go, shut up. I'm an artist.
Yeah.
If I want to, and this is a real thing, if I want to take a guitar string and whip a piece of cheese in the middle of a gallery and call that art, and then you take that piece of cheese and sell it for $8 million, it's art. What are you saying? What's your mission? What did you do to get there?
Yeah.
Nothing. Like you answered a ad in Backpay or Backstage or whatever it is. And you showed up as an actor to whip this piece of cheese for this artist. Like, where's the meaning?
Yeah. What do you get from that?
Yeah. Where's the craftsmanship?
That's right.
Where's
right.
that?
That's right.
The greatest artists who did abstract minimalism, surrealism, like all this kind of riffing crazy shit.
Yeah.
But they were all classically trained. They knew the rules so they could break the rules.
That's right.
Yep.
And that's it. It's like, I'm not saying you have to go to acting school to like understand this. Of course, what I'm saying, but it's like you gotta have a knowledge base and a certain education. Like you're saying about boxing, I wanted to understand the boxer because of this role I'm playing, so I took up boxing and figured it out.
Yeah.
It's like Daniel Day-Lewis. I'm playing this
shoe cobbler.
Yeah, I'm playing this thing. So I gotta go do the research.
Yeah, man.
I gotta sit down with these people. But these fucking cats that are like, my mom always told me I was gonna be famous.
Well, that's again what I love about Jai.
My mom always told me I was gonna be famous.
I respect that he was like, and he continues to give a fuck about what he's telling stories about for a purpose.
Yeah, for a purpose.
Bigger than himself. In my opinion. I don't know him personally.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
He's dedicated to that.
Yeah. And I wanted to say to you before, because we got to go to dinner.
No, I know. Shocked.
I know. I'm afraid to look at my phone right now.
It's about 7. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's my fault. DM that I sent you, I'm grateful you responded, man, because it was all out of I wanted to respond to the meaning that you imbued through your story that passed through me.
Dude, that's the only thing that kept me going.
Yeah.
Like those messages, that was the only thing that kept me going.
I'm glad, man.
These critics going like, what a stupid, what a stupid fucking movie. This is terrible. And Shy is getting canceled and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, shit, man. Like, okay, I guess I suck.
Yeah.
So,
well, no, I mean, it was me and my wife and we were, it wasn't a packed house. I was sitting there with my wife and, cleared out.
Script
credits rolled. Credits rolled. Yeah, no, of course. But like bawling. I mean, having a full blown fit by myself with my wife, bawling. And I've only had that twice.
Yeah, and anybody who said like, oh, I didn't like what the writer put in there, that trope of his best friend sleeping with his wife. I'm like, there's a word for that in the military. It's called getting
real.
jodied.
It's real.
They have task force set up in each one of the branches of the military to deal with this problem because it's such a fucking big problem.
Yeah, man.
So it's like, nah, it's not contrived. Like that came from talking to
I
people.
appreciate that you were and continue to be to make a career doing this thing in the fringes of it and to not have big time me. You know what I mean? To have given me a second to be like, I hear you, bro, and start a conversation, and to be a friend.
I loved it, man, and not because of that, just because you gave some like insights of like what it meant to you, and I was like, oh, that's wild.
Well, it's cool, man,
and it was cool to like explore that.
Yeah,
what does it?
Yeah,
what does it mean?
It means a lot. It means a lot more than I could put words to.
I love it.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that another time. Any questions before you run for us?
Where are you at now? Like where you're waking up in the morning, Mikey. You've been through the school. You've done this shit. You wake up in the morning. What's the gas? What's the gas in the tank for you?
The gas in the tank. That's a great question.
Great gas in the tank.
Damn. Man. It's tough. I relate to a lot of things you talk about, man, of like going in the darkness and like getting lost a little bit. And how things kind of change over the years of dreams you had. And like, I know things like, I feel like the dreams you have once you get a little older are like, they're not coming from like I'm trying to see like these realistic dreams now, like when I see like when I see like you and your kid yesterday or something, I'm like, oh, I want to be a fucking dad.
Yeah, man.
Like I want to do that, you know.
Careful.
I want to be a dad, you know. But in terms of like, I don't know, something that would make me happy, like in the end of my, like to get somewhere to like a goal to work towards for me is like, I don't know. I want to spend more time with my family. I want to make that possible. I want to be able to, you know, drop everything and be like, yeah, I'm going to go see them this weekend, you know. I want to just start like a cafe and just like do that and just make coffees for people forever.
Brilliant, dude.
And that's all I want to do.
That sounds amazing.
And like do business stuff with you, figure things out like that,
man.
you know.
Yeah, dude.
Be able to grow that. Yeah. That's kind of it.
So funny. Like I used to wake up in the morning and I used to think about the guys who, the two different individuals who abused me. I used to think about them every day. Every day I wake up. Every day. And I look back on that now and I go, my God, that was so exhausting.
Yeah, man.
It was so exhausting. Every time I went to the gym, every time I hit a bag, every time I rolled with somebody, that's what I was seeing, you know? And then it was, you know, this person who screwed me over, and this person, because that was the formula. Find an enemy.
Yeah.
So now I'm attracting enemies. And then once I was at a point, and that was a process that was like years, but once I got past that, then it was like, what the fuck am I going to do now? What's the gas in the tank? And then it became other people. And then now, I don't, you know, like for me, I think it's probably two things. I just have this image of like taking my kids and, you know, Larissa, she's going to outlive me. Like, come on. Like, there's no way. There's no way in hell she doesn't. But it's like, you know, like anybody, like just lifting those people above water so they can stay above water even after I'm gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that action. And the feeling of the muse having my back, like that flow, like when that thing hits you and you know creatively you got fire, like there's something, a story that's trying to be told through you. And you gotta be careful with that because then you can do that too. Because it's, you know, it's easy to go angry and dark and stuff like that. But I find this project that I did, the October 7th thing, it was just so like there was hope in it, in the worst of situations. I just found like, man, like that should be it. That should be like because there was magic there. So let me chase that dragon again and just, I got to find like this thing I was writing for Shia, not this thing Wolfhead, but this other thing that I'm going to direct. It was very, very, it's all dealing with pain and suffering and how suffering breeds sense. And suffering can lead you to light. And it was very dark. But then I was like, no, there's a way out. Like I'm in the shit with this character and I'm like, there's no way out. Like he's done. I'm going to go, this is Man Down Part 2. This guy's going all the way he's going to make a crater into the earth. And then I saw this thing that I wasn't expecting. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. You can get out of this. Like not in that sense of no spoilers or anything, but like there's a way to get to the light. And I find that so interesting. Like get lost so you can find it.
Something speaking to you about hope.
Yeah.
In a dark situation.
Yeah.
Something, the music.
Something. And that feeling when it's speaking to you going, you're on the right track.
That's right.
Like you're on the right track.
That's right.
That feels so good.
Good, man.
Because you go, I don't know what's going to happen, but I know I'm on the right track.
I was going to ask, what do
yeah.
you choose to believe in? And I think you're kind of answering the question for me.
I think so.
Yeah.
But what you, gas in the tank.
Gas in the tank?
Yeah.
Man. Gas in the tank would be to be a vessel for something greater than myself, to leave something behind that carries another person into what that phone call was for you, a bit of hope in a place that doesn't feel like there's any hope. So for my life to mean something to someone else's life, a light in a dark room, a vessel for something greater than myself, even if it's this big, like just I have to be here. It's a Wonderful Life thing. It's that Jimmy Stewart thing of like, you don't know how important your life is. So like, don't waste it. Don't beat yourself up. You know, show up. And there's some journey I'm on that I know, God has me on a journey for a reason. I don't know. I never know who watches this, the
Right.
30, 40, 50 people, whoever.
Yeah.
I never know who it's going to reach, but I know it reaches one. So I know that like I got to show up for that. Like that gives me hope that like this isn't a waste. This is worth something. If I'm willing to be vulnerable and honest, if I'm willing to put all of myself into something and like show up and express myself fully or just listen, then my life won't be wasted. Then it'll be worth something, even if it's like this to me is big.
Yeah.
There's no this in scope. It's like you can't quite measure the meaning of what your life means to somebody.
Yeah.
So I just want to keep showing up. That's what gets me out of bed. That's what gets me through like the job I don't want to be at. It's like, how can I have a small, in my eyes, impact on the person walking up to hand me money?
You just jogged my memory of something, and I think I'll just do it here. I know. I think what we're all saying, because I know you're of the same mind, Mikey, and I feel the same way. And I don't know if I shared this somewhere, but it's a cool story. It's just really quickly. It's this guy walks out onto the beach. This massive storm had been in the night before, and he sees literally hundreds of thousands of starfish on this beach, all washed up from this storm, churned something underneath, and they're all washed up there. So he's seeing this, he's like, wow, this is kind of a nutty sight. And he sees this kid, and he's throwing the starfish back in the water. He's just like, oh, poor bastard. He's out here shoveling starfish back into the water. But like, come on. So he walks up to the kid, and he goes, what are you doing? And he goes, I'm saving the starfish. And he goes, kid, like, look, like there's possibly like 1 million starfish on this beach. Like, you're not going to make a dent. It's not even going to be noticeable. Nobody's going to know. Like, you're not going to clean this up and save it. Like, it's not going to happen. And then the kid thinks about it for a moment, and then he reaches down and picks up a starfish and throws it in the water, and he goes, well, I made a difference to that one.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right.
You said it better. My starfish story.
No, that's a perfect example.
That's it.
No, you're right. You're right, dude. It's what.
To sum it up.
What do you do to a grave? Why do we go to grave sites, and why do we brush off the? I mean, it's for what? It's no one's seeing, no one's looking.
No one's
It's
looking.
like, but that means something. I don't know. I mean something. But you have to choose to believe that it means something. You have with what you do.
Well,
that's it.
When no one's looking. Anyway.
When no one's looking.
That's right.
Oh, when no one's looking.
That's right.
Yeah. Tell me what you think about when you don't think, and I'll tell you who you are. That hit me. I remember somebody telling me that one time, and I went, oh shit.
That's right.
And I had to start thinking about that. Like when you're sitting back and you just, what are you thinking about?
That's right.
And that's who you are. That's your brain on autopilot.
That's right.
So do you need to adjust that? Do you need to fix it?
What do we need to work on?
Yes.
Yeah, man.
The answer is yes.
The answer is yes. Adam G. Simon.
Love you guys.
Love you, man.
Love you, brother.
Sorry.
Appreciate it.
And I went crazy. I know I went crazy.
No, you didn't.
I know I said a lot of stuff. If I'm going to get you guys sued, feel free to.
No, you're not
bro.
going to get us
Cut out
sued,
whatever.
bro. Mikey?
If that's what gets us sued, then I'm okay.
Yeah, me too. We just kept it real. Thank you guys for listening. Again, join our
We gotta go.
Patreon. We got to run.
We gotta do
We're
it.
in trouble.
We're in
We got
trouble.
dinner.
Bad crew.
Mikey.
My name's Mike. I'm signing up.
My name's Dave. I love y'all. Please be kind to yourself. Please be kind to one another. Adam G. Simon here, signing off.
Signing off, and I'm saving us right now. Just
Thank
so
you.
you know, this isn't like addicted to the cell phone. I'm running an operation to save our
There we go.
asses.
There we go.
So
Peace.
love you.
Okay, now I gotta really do it.